The famous Flatirons in Boulder, Colorado, where the Buffs host the Bulldogs on College Football Saturday. Presented this evening in brilliant high definition by Philips Televisions. Tonight, a Big 12 SEC party in the sky. The Georgia Bulldogs traveled the mile-high Colorado territory to take on the home team Buffaloes. Scotty McKnight, Colorado's go-to receiver, is on a record pace every time he steps on the turf. Georgia freshman quarterback Aaron Murray should be feeling peachy with the return of the Bulldogs' star receiver, A.J. Green. Can A.J. Green perform his magic in the thin air? Will the Colorado defense corral the Georgia offense? College football excitement. Georgia battles Colorado. It starts now. One of the great scenes in college football, and just about 10,000 fans from Georgia have made the trek as we welcome you to Folsom Field, Boulder, Colorado. It's Big 12 College Football Saturday presented by Philips Televisions. And today, from Athens, the Georgia Bulldogs taking on the Colorado Buffaloes. Hi, everybody. Joel Myers alongside Joel Klatt, and welcome to Boulder, as Colorado, for only the second time in school history, hosts a team from the SEC. The Buffalo also come in, Joel, off a very big win just 2 weeks ago over Hawaii, thanks to the solid, consistent play of their wide receiver, Scotty McKnight.
He's got the highest football IQ on the football field at any given time. Very smart wide receiver. He gets everything done for this football team. He goes in the slot and can work the middle of the football field. That's the reason he's the school's all-time leader in receptions, only 4 away in TD receptions, very close as far as yards as well. This guy has great hands, and he's very smooth in the middle of the football field. Sits against zone, runs against man, and he's got enough body control where in the red zone he becomes a very viable target when that field shrinks for Tyler Hansen.
Well, Georgia comes in with a 3-game losing streak for just the first time in 20 years. They do, though, get their playmaker, their big play artist, A.J. Green, for the first time this year.
He's the best wide receiver in college football. He's going to be the first wide receiver taken in the NFL draft next spring. He's fast. He's got great size, 6'4", 212 pounds, and very good hands. He can make plays on the outside just with the screen pass. Plus, the shots taken down the field is what's ultimately going to help Georgia today in their run game, getting the safeties out of that run box. This guy has got to be a huge threat for the Bulldogs tonight against the Buffaloes.
Well, we make history as Georgia comes into Boulder for the first time in school history. When we come back, Darren Horton in our College Football Saturday studio. Stay with us as you're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by Philips Televisions.
Welcome to Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by Philips Televisions tonight. The Georgia Bulldogs of the SEC venture into the land where the Buffaloes roam to take on Colorado and sack leader B.J. Beatty. Welcome inside our Big 12 College Football Saturday studios. I'm Darren Horton. First week in October brings us the 105th Red River rivalry, a very important game for 16th-ranked Texas, looking to bounce back from the upset to UCLA. To the Cotton Bowl we go. Number 8, Oklahoma, went right after the Horns. First quarter, Sooners up 7-zip. Landry Jones, sweet pass to Kenny Still, side of the end zone. Oklahoma up 14-zip. Fourth quarter now, 21-10 Sooners to Marco Murray. Tight ropes the sideline, flips into the end zone, and Oklahoma right now, it's over. 28-20 the final. The Sooners get it done in East Lansing. Number 9, Wisconsin against Michigan State. Second quarter, this is Keyshawn Martin fielding the punt, takes it up the middle, cuts it to the right, and he's gone. 74 yards to the house. Spartans would take a 13-10 lead. Then in the fourth quarter, Michigan State up 27-24 on a 4th and goal. Kirk Cousins goes over the top. B.J. Cunningham for the score, and the Spartans get it done 34-24. But up next, it's time to head to Boulder, where the Buffalo faithful are on the edge of their seats. It's Colorado and Georgia. The kickoff next on Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by Philips Television.
Welcome back once again to Boulder, Colorado. A lot of red, a ton of red in the stands. Good 10,000, and the chance of UGA in the background as the Bulldogs make their way on the field, Folsom Field. And we head downstairs to one of the great traditions in college football with Jim Knox. Knoxy.
All right, y'all, here we go again. Running with Ralphie. What? They say Ralphie had 4 flat in the 40 just a couple of weeks ago. We're going to turn it around, and here we go down the stretch. Come on, Ralphie, bring it on, baby. What happened? I got clipped at the 50. Hey, where's the penalty flag?
That was legal. I'm sorry. That was not a block in the back.
That was not a block in the back.
That was textbook the way he lowered his shoulder. And you'll see he gets his, he's completely in front of Knox.
He's eyeing him up. He's eyeing him up right here. This is a legal hit. Face mask in front. That's what they say. Good for. That's unbelievable.
Well, Jim Knox is in
You
the
okay,
infirmary.
Knoxy?
Is Knoxy out of the
You
infirmary?
okay, Knoxy?
They need to throw a flag on that, Joel. Definitely a flag. He came out of nowhere, clipped me twice. It was still a lot of fun. Love this game.
Big 12 SEC officials, they'd both call it a legal hit. Jaffe back deep for Colorado. Along with Brian Lockridge. As Blair Walsh gets into it, and we are underway in Boulder. Good to have you with us at Big 12 College Football Saturday. Lockridge will stay in the end zone, and that is one of the keys going into this game. Walsh, along with the punter Drew Butler, who was first team All-SEC and All-American last year. The big edge in specials and kicking game, and the return to Boykins for Georgia. That is a huge edge. Now, Tyler Hansen, best in the Big 12 on third downs, but can he get first down straight?
He's got to stay within himself. A couple of weeks ago against Cal, this team struggled immensely offensively, and part of the reason was because Tyler Henson was trying to do too much. If he stays within himself tonight, the Buffaloes will have a better chance to win this football game.
So Tyler Hansen behind a huge offensive line, and they are running the football better than they did last year when they were one of the worst in the nation. On 1st and 10 from their own 20. Lockridge can't break out of the tackle. Outstanding play in the secondary. Bakari Rambo, the strong safety, a sophomore from Donaldson, Georgia. And now we look at the Phillips Television starting lineup. I talked about that offensive line. Solder is big, 6'9", 315, a senior from Buena Vista, a 3-year starter. You look at the backs and the receivers, and it is Lockridge, not Speedy. Rodney Stewart getting the start tonight. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 20. Double up McKnight. Same side as Clemens. And Lockridge belted after a gain of only 3. Defensively for the Georgia Bulldogs, and they are 30th in the nation at stopping the run up front. And it's a transition period for them in a new 3-4. Avery Jones up front with Dobbs and Tyson. The linebackers, well, Justin Houston's been their sack specialist early this season. And their D-backs, well, Jakar Hamilton's made some big plays, but the interception leader was Boykin, the return guy, as well last year. So it'll be a 3rd down right off the bat, 3rd and about 6. Dean's into the game. In the slot, the tight end. Hansen in trouble. Can he scramble enough for the first down? Breaks another tackle and gets it. We talked about the mobility at the top of Tyler Hansen. Both quarterbacks really do have good wheels. We saw the pressure, but Hansen is a playmaker.
Man-to-man on the outside. They're going to come with a double-A gap blitz. Tyler Hansen recognizes it right away. Tries to escape the trouble. Good moves in the middle of the football field, looking for the sticks. Ultimately moving the sticks with that first down run.
Colorado has given up 8 sacks over the first 3 games with a mobile quarterback, and over the last 15, 52 sacks. So Georgia knows they can get to the quarterback. It'll be 1st and 10. Weaving his way is Lockridge. Spinning, and he doesn't quit on the play. Moving the pile for a sizable gain all the way to the 39. A gain of about 7. Now the key's coming in, Joel.
Well, the big uglies up front. We're seeing this already play out on normal downs. Running the football. Can Colorado establish the line of scrimmage? And then the island affair on defense. The 2 outstanding cornerbacks for Colorado, Jaleel Brown and Jimmy Smith, locked up in one-on-one coverage with the great wide receiver A.J. Green from Georgia.
It'll be be 1st and 10, or make it 2nd and 3 rather, from the 39. Keep Lockridge on the ground. He bolts for the first down. So Lockridge, Southern California native out of Trabuco Canyon. He's a junior at 5'7", 185. They barely have one tailback out of their first 4 that's over 6 feet.
Small guys, but behind that big offensive line, they're able to find the hole. He finds it on the right side of that line of scrimmage. A good block by the redshirt freshman, Bakhtiari on the outside. He frees Lockridge up for another first down run.
So from their own 20, out past the 43. Keep it on the ground. And this time Lockridge pays for it. He is driven down by D'Angelo Tyson, the nose guard. Textbook tackle lowering his shoulder. Junior from Statesboro, Georgia. In his first year as a starter. But they're trying to, they've got, opening day, they had 6 new starters defensively. They're adjusting to the 3-4 and talking of the Bulldogs.
Really, Joel, that's 11 new starters because of the new scheme. Hey, 6 new to the playing field, but 11 new to the scheme. They've had trouble in the first series of games thus far this season. Already Colorado with a couple of first downs here early.
7th play of the drive on 2nd and 9, and as you mentioned, Joel, they've given up a touchdown on the opening drive to the opposition in 3 consecutive games. Lockridge and the quarterback Hansen do a great job of getting the football turning the wrong way.
Almost looked like a power play, but yeah, you're right. Tyler Hansen turns the wrong way, possibly Lockridge going the wrong way in the backfield. But we already see what Colorado is trying to do, establish the run and the line of scrimmage with that big offensive line. Earlier this year, they did not do that, Joel. They paid for that against Cal. This Georgia defense is very fast. You got to let those big guys establish the line of scrimmage.
It'll be 3rd, a little more than 5, almost 6. Hansen, pressure coming, quarterback draw all the way. He's got the first down. He wanted to run the football. Breaking tackles into the secondary. Weaves his way over to the right side. Gets into the block inside the 15. And alertly slides down before Boykin can get to him. All the way to the 13. What an added weapon.
Man-to-man coverage on the outside with a free safety in the middle of the football field means there's nobody for the quarterback. The all-out blitz from Georgia, and Tyler Hansen alertly recognizes that there's no quarterback player, gets upfield, and then shows you his ability on the outside. Again, alertly sliding there, not taking a big hit inside the 15-yard line, and CU in business in the red zone on their first series.
Will it be the 4th consecutive game that Georgia has given up a touchdown to the opposition on the opening series? Turning the corner? No, you won't. Good play on the outside. Darrell Gamble getting to the running back, the outside backer. You can hear him wolfing in the background. A lot of Bulldog fans here. A loss of about 4 on the smart play by Gamble.
And an alert play to not drag Lockridge down by the back of his jersey. If he hits the ground via that horse collar tackle, that's going to be a penalty. But Gamble understands that. Let's go. Holds him up and then makes the tackle, wrapping Lockridge up. Very alert play from Gamble.
So back to the 17. It'll be 2nd and about 14. Lockridge stays in there. Good vision. He waited for things to develop, and he got the block on the right side. Bakhtiari for the right tackle as he went inside the kick out by the tackle and gets it back to the original line of scrimmage.
Speedy Stewart has better vision than Lockridge, but Lockridge has the patience, waiting for the hole to set up and then accelerating through, getting behind his pads on a physical run on the last play. That's an alert run from Brian Lockridge, who early in this game got the start and has stayed on the football field and run very effectively.
The key, though, Hansen, 2 carries, 47 yards, and first downs both times. So 6 minutes gone by on 3rd and 9. Hansen, here comes the heat. The floater over the middle. Clemens has it. He's got a first and goal. Will he get in? No. But he's inside the 3. Tony Clemens, a junior from Pennsylvania.
He was a transfer from Michigan. Had to sit out last year because of transfer rules, but this guy is a threat anywhere on the football field. 6'2", 210 pounds, and we see the physical nature of the way he runs, not going down at first contact. This will give you a great idea of catching the ball with your hands. That is a very good catch from Tony Clemens. Love the fact that he gets the football early in this game.
Inside the 3, it's first and goal. Lockridge stays in the I formation and gets popped blocked in the backfield and dropped for a loss. It is Akeem Dent, the first one in there, the inside backer, a senior from Atlanta. So there's no question there's a ton of team speed defensively for the Georgia Bulldogs. They are talent rich. And now can they get the scheme, as you mentioned?
They got burned by that speed already a couple of times with Tyler Hansen. Overplaying that blitz, going up the edge, not being disciplined in their rush lanes, and Hansen has burned them on this first series.
It'll be second and goal from the 4 after the loss. Slide the tight end over. And now looking over to Dean. That's taken away. Outside, wide open. It's a touchdown, but a flag on the play. Flag down to the original line, as taking it in is the tight end Matthew Blair. And will it come back?
Offside. Defense.
No. Touchdown, Colorado.
Touchdown.
So for the 4th consecutive game, head coach Mark Richt sees his defense victimized on the very first possession. 80-yard drive. And most of it on the ground. Eric Goodman, the senior from Cherry Hills Village, Colorado, the Denver suburb, in for the point after. And nothing's automatic in their kicking game. Placement is perfect. So a shocking start, as in Boulder this weekend they honor the 1990 national champions, and right now the Young Buffs looking like champs on their first drive. Big 12 College Football Saturday presented by Phillips Television. So amazing you won't be able to take your eyes off of it. And brought to you in part by Allstate. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate. Are you in good hands? And welcome back to the good hands of Folsom Field, Boulder, Colorado. Good look, isn't it? They started early. We were out on the hill. The campus area here in Boulder. And it was a lot of red and black. The Georgia Bulldogs making the trek for the first time to Boulder. And let's see what they can do after the opening drive. And 62 of those 80 yards belonging to 2 carries, or at least 62 of the 80 belonging to Tyler Hansen. He had 47 on 2 carries, and then 2 for 2 in the passing department with the touchdown to Blair, and 15 yards on the passes. Brandon Boykin, one of the very best in the nation, is waiting for the kick. Eric Goodman will get into it from the 30. So a 7-0 lead for Colorado. Boykin, a little momentum from the 4. And a nice lane over to the right side. Why do they kick to this guy? Needs one more block. Boykin past the midfield stripe. Will it be forced out? It'll be run down inside the 25. Saving the touchdown, it is Jimmy Smith, the defensive back. Why do they? Right down the middle. This is a guy who's got 3 kick returns for touchdowns in his career already.
You can see why. To be a great kick returner, you got to have great patience early in the run, not run yourself out of a lane. Boykin does that on this play. Great patience, and then once you find that lane, you got to have the explosion to get upfield. Jimmy Smith saving that touchdown for Colorado.
So Brandon Boykin, the junior from Fayetteville, Georgia, he did hobble off the field. Jim Knox will be on top of that down on the sideline, we know. And starting tonight is Carlton Thomas in the backfield along with Aaron Murray at quarterback. On the play fake, a lot of room up the middle. And the wing, he's got the tight end. It's complete to Aaron White, the junior from Columbia, Missouri. And back to Aaron Murray, who is right now 4th among freshman quarterbacks in quarterback ratings. And he's done a lot of good things for Georgia. There has not been balance, though. They're missing a typical Georgia Bulldog ground game.
Their offensive struggles are not on the shoulders of the redshirt freshman quarterback Aaron Murray. They have not been able to run the football. I think that will change tonight with A.J. Green back on the field. Safeties not able to get down in that run box.
Green's on one side, Tavares King on the other. Chris Durham coming into the game doubtful, questionable, because of the stinger he suffered in the last one at Mississippi State. Bouncing outside, nothing there for Carlton Thomas. Shut off on the short side of the field. Belichick made the stop. And our Phillips Television starting 11 offensively. The consistent one over on the left side, it is Clint Bowling, his 4th year as a starter. And you look at the backs and receivers, we also see Thomas Stark, but we'll see with Sean Ely, who has started a couple of games already this year, and Caleb King, the junior from Norcross, Georgia. It is now 3rd and 5, the 20, the 19. In the slot, they bring in Marlon Brown. Murray out of the gun. Boy, his back was wide open still. He found Thomas looking for a block. He's got a 1st and goal. He'll take that inside the 10. He was open for a while. Jimmy Smith makes his stop as we look at the Phillips Television starting 11 defensively in the 4-3 for Colorado. Arad, experience up front, who had 6 sacks last year. Alice, their junior from San Bernardino, California, quickest of the Colorado linebackers. And they have guys that are going to be on Sunday. Jimmy Smith and Jaleel Brown out of the corners for Colorado. And that's not just our opinion. That is the opinion of many pro scouts. Inside of 6. Left of the first 15 on 1st and goal. Thomas can't get out of the backfield. Knifing through Curtis Cunningham, the junior from Littleton. You like those throwback uniforms? The 1990s?
Love the unis. Honoring that 1990 National Championship team. Number 50, Curtis Cunningham, the junior. He's played since he was a true freshman here in Boulder. A little undersized for a defensive tackle, but he plays really hard. A great motor inside. You saw it on that play, beating the center to the hole across his face.
And his granddaddy was a Ram. His grandfather played at Colorado State. He's a Buffalo, though. 5:15 and counting left of the first quarter. They'll slide the tight end in motion. On the play fake, Murray blindside has pressure and throws it over the head of A.J. Green. He barely got it away before the blindside pressure. Keys now for the Bulldogs, Joel, coming in.
Well, it's going to start with A.J. Green. They haven't had a chance to get him the ball yet on this offensive series. But what is his effect on the defensive strategy for Colorado? And then defensively for Georgia, you got to get pressure on Tyler Hansen. We saw him try to heat him up in that first series, and yet Tyler Hansen alertly took that quarterback draw for a couple of big runs. So the pressure burned Georgia early.
Thomas stays in the backfield. Now 3rd and goal from the 15. Trips on the wide side, but Thomas going in motion and almost picked off. Right in and out of the hands of John Major. Trying to set up a little middle screen.
Trying to get the football to A.J. Green. Very smart on a 3rd down call, but John Major reads it beautifully. He sees the offensive line, A, get out on the sidewalk, and B, try to cut him. You saw the Georgia lineman on his hands and knees. Anytime as a linebacker you see that, get your hands up in the air because you know it's a screen pass.
Well, Blair Walsh, automatic this year, 32, almost 33 yards away, and it continues to be a perfect season for him. He has yet to miss this year after going 20 of 22 last year. So, Georgia on the board on their first possession, just like Colorado. Magnificent night alongside the Rockies as we head down to the sideline with Jim Knox.
Okay, Joel, just want to remind everyone, don't forget to kick that tailgate party off with Hass avocados, fresh, creamy Hass avocados. Nothing else would do. They love them here in Boulder, Colorado. Look at this. They're going wild, guys.
Healthy atmosphere with so many of the Bulldogs on the road. It's like they took over Boulder on the Pearl Street Mall last night as well. And I like what the athletic director, Mike Bone, took the microphone. And they have a Buffalo Stampede every Friday night on the Pearl Street Mall. And they honored the 1990 guys who were there. And the first thing he said, let's welcome everybody from Georgia. And it was a great ovation for all the Bulldog fans because they were there last night. Arthur Jaffe back deep with Brian Lockridge as Walsh had it blown off the tee. We're going to show you some of the festivities a little bit later. What went on the Pearl Street Mall last night. And what's so good about what's going on in Boulder and so many of the Big 12 sites. Walsh kicks it away. Good hang time. Lockridge about 4 yards in. Indecisive will bring it out. And it's a mistake. Indecision cost him. Good coverage downfield. First one for Georgia. That was Cummings, the defensive back out of Augusta. And we'll come right back as it's going to be a long field deep in their own territory to start the second possession of the game for the Buffaloes of Colorado, up by 4. Back in Boulder, Colorado an early 4-point lead inside of 5 to play in the opening quarter. Joel Myers along with Joel Klatt, a very impressive start for the Buffaloes, an 80-yard drive, Joel.
Cover one, which is man-free safety back. Blitzes by Georgia hurt them, over-pursuing the quarterback, and Tyler Hansen able to get down the middle of the football field. Those were the 2 big plays that set up the red zone possession for the Colorado Buffaloes. And then on a critical 3rd down, finding the transfer from Michigan, Tony Clements, inside the 5, and then Matt Barr, his second catch of the year, ends up in a touchdown for the Colorado Buffaloes. That was a huge first series, the emotion of the 1990 reunion, all those things, and Hansen leads them right down for a score.
Well, they accounted for 62 of the 80 yards, whether it was on the ground, 47-15 through the air. They continue, unfortunately, to look at T.J. Stripling, the freshman from Decatur, Georgia, who was hurt on special teams play right before we broke away.
He's in the corner of your screen, got blocked right when his right leg was planted in the ground, re-enters your screen just sitting there. Glad the pile didn't end up on him at the end, but they're working on that right leg and brought the card out, and they'll go in. There is x-ray equipment here at Folsom Field, so I'm sure that they'll go back and try to take every precaution necessary to make sure that they can get him back as soon as possible. Clearly not tonight with this much of a pause and break in the action, looking at that right leg.
And you saw Mark Richt there, and now his teammates kneeling in prayer for their teammate. And we spent some time with Mark earlier this week, saw him at the team's hotel yesterday, and he talked about how great their offseason was. And then all of a sudden, a slow start, and how do you deal with adversity? And now early in a game, adversity once again with an injured teammate.
We've had to deal with the slow starts all year. We alluded to that fact on Colorado's first offensive possession, the first possessions for this Georgia defense. Good, the Stripling's up now, about ready to go on the cart, but this Georgia defense giving up touchdowns on the first drive, behind early in football games, that style of adversity. They've had off-the-field troubles as well, even in the administration, and a lot of things to deal with for Mark Richt and the Georgia Bulldogs. And now, the injury. How do they respond? This game is a response game for Georgia. They have not lost 3 in a row since 1990.
Watch number 44. He just plants as he's being blocked. And he went to the knee right away, his right knee, and he flipped off his helmet like he knew exactly what happened, unfortunately. So our thoughts right now with that young man from Decatur, Georgia, T.J. Stripling. The emotions of the game. I mean, this field was as noisy as you'll find at College Football Stadium a few minutes ago. And the magnitude, they understand it. So another one for Mark Richt and the Bulldogs to deal with. And let's face it, Mark Richt, one of the most successful football coaches in America when you look at what he's done over the last 9 years. So when we talked to him and he said, this is something new for us, he said, it's something new for me. They've never lost 3 in a row under Mark Richt. He's one of only 7 in college football history to win 90 or more in his first 9 seasons. They've been spoiled.
Well, Richt hasn't had to deal with it at Georgia nor at Florida State, where he came from. He was the offensive coordinator for the Seminoles from '94 all the way till 2000 when he got the job here at Georgia. So this is new for not only Mark Richt, but this Georgia program and the Bulldog faithful.
They don't forget, though, he took them to their first SEC title in 2002 in 20 years. So they've done a phenomenal job of the head coach on the sideline. And now they try to get back together against Colorado after losing 3 in a row. And Lockridge ripped down after a gain of maybe a yard and a half on the second series for the Buffalo. First and 10 line, we remind you, is brought to you by Phillips Televisions. Joel Myers, Joel Klatt, Jim Knox in Boulder, Colorado. Perfect football weather. And it's been an amazing weekend weather-wise. Could have played it yesterday, Thursday. Didn't make any difference. It has been that good alongside the Rockies. Outside the 11. It's second at about 8. Inside action. Lockridge belted immediately. Over pursuit, something you talked about, running yourself out of the play. That's what they'll have to deal with this new 3-4, the transition, because there's a lot of speed on this defense. Dent made the stop on that play.
Georgia's got to be aware of that because this offense for Colorado is predicated on the zone running game, trying to cut back and find those lanes to cut back. The zone running game is great against defenses that over pursue, so Georgia's got to stay disciplined here. 3rd and 5, critical down. Georgia's got to get off the football field.
Colorado 3 for 3 on 3rd downs on their opening drive, 51% over their first 3 games. And 3rd and 5, play fake, Hansen in trouble again. Good footwork and out of the reach of his tight end Ryan Dean, way behind the junior from Poway, California. So 3 and out, and now it should be good field position for Georgia.
3rd down, quarterbacks ultimately try to look for their guy, their security blanket. That's Scotty McKnight for Colorado. Georgia's getting away with a little hold there, but in the back end, 2 Georgia players on Scotty McKnight doing a terrific job. Jakar Hamilton playing center field for Georgia and playing disciplined football, not baiting when Tyler Hansen started to scramble outside of the pocket.
Zach Grossnickel, redshirt freshman from Denver, is going to punt it away. As back deep, the defensive back, Brandon Smith waits. They set up for the return. It is a beauty. Backpedaling with a fair catch. Smith takes it in cleanly. Inside his own 40. Let's check in once again with Jim Knox. Knoxy.
Okay, Stripling is out of the game, as you saw, the carted off the field in tears. It's his right knee. He is definitely through. It could be very serious. Good news is Brandon Boykin right now on the bike, number 2 behind me. He had a strained hamstring. They put a right sleeve on it. Looks like he's trying to warm it up. He'll be back in, guys, as the kick returner.
All right, thank you, Jim. So a dangerous weapon. They cannot afford to have him over on the sideline, as you talk about Boykin, who also is a starting cornerback as well. Now the talented redshirt freshman from Tampa, Aaron Murray, out of the gun on 1st and 10. Short field for Georgia. Can they take advantage of it? Ton of time. Swings it out to the flat, and it's dropped by Thomas. He wanted to run. Sophomore from Frostproof, Florida. Just looked away. It'll be 2nd and 10. Murray, a playmaker, a high school All-American, and rated, in fact, as the 3rd best quarterback 3 years ago among the high school ranks. So now early in his starting career. And 1 and 3 coming into Boulder. Thomas gets a little wall over to the right side. Couldn't get that extra block downfield from the wide receiver, Tavares King, but still gets about 5. It'll bring up, make it 6, 3rd and 4.
Colorado is going to force Georgia to run the football to beat them. You can't allow A.J. Green to go crazy in his first game back from suspension. There's been a safety over A.J. Green on every single play thus far for the Georgia Bulldogs. They're going to have to find somewhere else to go or else allow Green to work against that double coverage deep in the secondary.
Green has Brown in the slot, wide side of the field. Little check off. 3rd and 4 for Murray. Thomas won't get there. Check to the run. And it's going to bring up a 4th down. So 3 and out with a punt coming up for Georgia. And they waste the great opportunity with the ball right about their own 40 to start the drive.
The first half of the Hawaii game for Colorado, Hawaii knocked on the door all first half long. Could have been 21-0. That defense for CU held them to 10 points. And thus far in this game, 2 great opportunities as far as field position goes for the Bulldogs, and they're unable to capitalize. They only get the 3 points, and now the 3 and out.
We see one of the best punters in the nation for the first time tonight, and that is Drew Butler, the junior from Duluth, Georgia. Ray Guy Award winner last year is Trayvon Patterson. Is back deep for the Buffalo. And in the thin air, talk about confidence in your punter.
Delay a game.
They take the delay a game.
5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Give Butler as much room as he needs.
And Butler is an absolutely great punter. The Ray Guy Award winner, Joel, like we've been talking about, 48-yard average a year ago. They're just trying to give him a better opportunity to pin the Buffaloes inside of their 10-yard line.
Son of longtime place kicker Kevin Butler sends out a very high one, a fairly short one by his standards, and a fair catch taken in at the Colorado 22. They didn't need to take that 5-yard mark off, as it turns out, after only the 38-yard punt. Well, FoxSportsSouth.com has the SEC absolutely covered. Log on now and access writers reporting from every SEC school throughout the week, along with the exclusive video, interviews, and analysis. Plus, after every game like tonight, log on and see highlights and post-game press conferences. It's FoxSportsSouth.com, and it covers your favorite SEC teams, like the Georgia Bulldogs.
Joe, we're already seeing the adjustments play out. Georgia got away from that pressure game that we saw early in the first series, that cover one pressure. Now they're just playing base defense and daring CU to just beat them 10 plays down the football field.
Rodney Stewart in for the first time of the night. And there's the guy they call Speedy, belted. Big time. Akeem Dent showing up on film again. A running start for Stewart, but it made no difference. He's only 5'6", 175. Dent outweighs him by a good 50 pounds.
And Dent dealt with some injuries in the spring. He was unable to practice in the spring. He was unable to go through summer conditioning. In fact, the first time he got back on the football field was right before week 1, Louisiana Lafayette for Georgia. But he's playing extremely well, leading the team in tackles.
Yeah, he is their leader, productive player. It's gotten better, as their defensive coordinator told us. Now Hansen to the swing, and a block is out there for Speedy. There he goes. Stewart spins, and he's got the first down across the 40. Good rhythm and timing play. And a first down near the 45. It's Dent who caught up with him. But it looked way too easy that time for Colorado.
It looked easy because on the outside, the junior from Boise, Kyle Cefalo, number 35, he delivers the key block on the outside, getting down at the feet of number 1, Brandon Smith on the outside for Georgia. That's what catapults Speedy down the sidelines for another first down for CU.
Rodney Stewart, the one they call Speedy, a junior from Westerville, Ohio, and he did not start tonight. Lockridge instead. They pounded the football. Give it in the counteraction to Stewart. Bounces outside. Almost got the lane he needed. And the wall, but Bakari Rambo forces him out. Could have been a huge gain, an automatic first down, instead about 5-6 because of the good play by Rambo.
Both players showcasing their speed on the last play. Stewart changing direction, getting outside to the right, but Bakari Rambo from his inside position near the hash mark, getting all the way out on the outside, keeping outside contained and bringing Stewart down for a gain of 6.
Well, they get the playoff in time. Final 7 seconds of the opening 15 minutes of play. Stewart, the motion man, on second down. Same play, other side. And it works again. Stewart with the first down, tripped up in the secondary by Jakar Hamilton. So if you didn't get it the first time, we'll do it the other way, and it works again. That's the end of the first 15 here in Boulder. And a productive start for the Colorado Buffaloes. They are moving the football once again when we come back with a 7-3 lead over the Georgia Bulldogs. You're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday. It's all presented by Phillips Televisions. Start of the second quarter, our DirecTV game summary, and Colorado doing, as you can tell by the numbers, just about everything they want to offensively so far. And welcome once again to Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado. Joel Myers along with Joel Klatt, and a surprising start, but Tyler Hansen, almost like a point guard in basketball, has been the catalyst.
Well, and Georgia was going to pay attention to Tyler Hansen today, but the problem is you dial up some pressures on third down or even in the middle of the schedule on first or second down, and Tyler Hansen can make you pay. That's what we saw earlier in the football game. And then in the second series for Colorado, Georgia adjusted. They're going to continue to stay in base down coverage, not blitz, not pressure, and force CU to earn their way down the football field.
First snap of the second quarter. It's all the way down to the 42. And a first down as Lockridge back into the game, just goes low. Plows his way through, trying to find extra yardage, and he did. And bounced around a little bit, but he got 5. Dent put him down. So that's the way it starts in the second 15. And first down has been pretty good so far for the Colorado Buffaloes. And we had that graphic where Hansen, lowest rated quarterback on first down when he has to throw the football, but they've been making that commitment at the ground game. Well, there's Lockridge or Rodney Stewart, who we saw on the sideline with the swing passes. It'll be 2nd and 5. Lockridge adjusting and taking a shot. Looked like the safety came up and make it Justin Houston, the outside backer. He met him perfectly. The junior from Statesboro, Georgia, who came into the game leading Georgia with 3 quarterback sacks. And now a key third down, field position-wise. A first down here and already field goal territory for Colorado.
Colorado very good on 3rd and 8 or less. 70% conversion rates on downs just like these, 3rd and 4. Key for Georgia. What do? We've seen the adjustment. Do they decide to blitz? A lot of guys at the line of scrimmage right now.
They need 4 yards. They're 3 of 4 on their third down try so far. Here comes the blitz up the middle. Wide open. It's Lockridge into the secondary, making a miss. The 5 and put down inside the 1. First and goal, Colorado. Do you believe it?
Catching Georgia trying to get aggressive once again. Colorado has burned the Bulldogs when they've decided to pressure. 3rd down, we see the confusion on the outside. Lockridge gets loose. Not able to look back and get that. I believe that was Aubrey Jones or Cornelius Washington on the outside, number 83. That was his responsibility. Fake the blitz, come back for Brian Lockridge. But you see Tyler Hansen recognizes it, gets it on the outside. First and goal, Buffaloes.
Lockridge stays in the backfield. Behind Fernandez in the eye. Lockridge left side, finds a little crease, and he's in. Touchdown, Colorado.
Lockridge behind the big offensive line, trying to get that ball in all the way across the goal line. It's very close there.
Did it come out before he hit the deck? It's going to be a reviewed play.
They're going to go ahead and blow this one dead. Go upstairs and review this play.
The previous play is under further review.
Well, did it break the plane?
That's all it has to do.
Before, though, he lost control.
I believe he lost control based on that last replay when he hit the ground and was actually down. So now they're going to be looking at, is the ball touching the white?
Ooh, it's out. It's out before I think the elbow's down.
The only problem is I don't know if there's enough to overturn this. This angle is going to be absolutely terrific to see exactly when this football got loose. It's starting to come out. I believe that's going to be called out. It was coming out before that elbow hit. I believe that's the left elbow for Brian Lockridge. And right there is when the football comes out, just a hair before the elbow hits. It looks like this could possibly be overturned, Joel.
And a touchback. If it is controlled, and we didn't let it roll, but if it's controlled, it's a touchback. And it goes out to the 20. Now in the scramble, it looked like number 34 for Colorado, the tight end, tried to scoop it in. Ryan Dean.
This is a huge point in this game. Whatever this could change the entire complexion of this game. I fully expect them to take the fully allotted time to look this play over because of the magnitude of what's going on in this football game, the type of score that this could be for Colorado. Georgia backs up against the wall right now. Joe, we talked about the big offensive line having to get established early in this football game for Colorado. They've done just that. Allowed this Buffalo team to stay on schedule.
Well, their gambles have been, they've burned every time. The Hansen 40-plus yard run. And now we will find out from our referee.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Touchdown.
So Lockridge gets it. It's official. But as we saw, it looked like it came out.
That was awfully close.
But Dean did grab it as it went across the line. It looked like the tight end covered it. Eric Goodman in for the point after. 13-15 left in the half, and a shocking start for Georgia out of the SEC. You looked at this game about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and even a few days ago. You saw enough talent for Georgia that they looked like they had an edge going in. But right now, after the point after, 11-point deficit. So a stunner early after 2 long drives. An 80-yard drive to start the game, and drive number 3, 8 plays, 78 yards. Took a little more than 3 off the clock. Lockridge with the touchdown, and Colorado leads it 14-3. 14-3 lead for Colorado, but a lot of time left in the first half. And welcome back to Folsom Field in Boulder. We look back on the only other matchup between these two teams. At the time in 2006, Georgia was ranked number 9 in the nation. Well, they were down late in the game when Joe Cox took over for Matthew Stanford. 9:11 remaining. Brandon Sutherland, he found it for 23 yards and a score, the first points of the day. And then with only 46 seconds left, it was Martez Milner on the receiving end of the Cox pass. Extra point was the difference, and Georgia prevailed. Anxious moments, though, as Cox was 10 of 13 in that game, 153 yards as he came on. And he saved the Georgia Bulldogs between the hedges. Now, Mark Richt needs to pick things up offensively. They have been outgained early in this game, 163 yards, just as 15 for Georgia. They haven't had the ball much, going 3 and out in their second series, but they're about to get it back after the kick by Eric Goodman. But the bad news for Georgia, Boykin is not back there. Instead, it's going to be Brandon Smith. So here we go. Can Georgia settle in offensively and find a rhythm, a flow?
They've only targeted A.J. Green 1 time. I expect that to change on this next series. You got to try to take a shot with your best player.
Goodman from the 30. And the line drives a pretty good one. Smith will stay in the end zone, 7-8 yards deep. And as they put it at the 20, it's time for a Phillips Television game break as we go to the studio with Darren Horton. Darren?
Joel, one of the most surprising scores of the day coming out of Waco, where Baylor crushed Kansas 55-7. Robert Griffin III, a career day, 380 yards passing, 3 touchdowns through the air, 1 on the ground. 55-7, Joel.
And we will see Baylor at the Cotton Bowl next week around the Texas State Fair, taking on the Red Raiders of Texas Tech on Fox Sports. So join us next Saturday in Dallas. Aaron Murray, key series with Caleb King taking over in the backfield. Can they shift the momentum? End around. There's the playmaker Green. Get him some touches, and he's got it down the sideline. He's not out of bounds. And across the midfield stripe. Good move for the 6'4" wide receiver. Big play. So they get him involved right away as you talk about it, Joel. And he's brought down by Julio Brown. And he was close to going out of bounds.
If you want to find momentum, you go look to A.J. Green on the outside of that bunch triple set on the backside. This is just a little, what we used to call Fresno, the end around on the outside, and Green tiptoes down the sidelines. And now Georgia, fastball offense on the line of scrimmage.
Fullback Chappers is in there, along with Caleb King. But outside the 40, King slowed down, breaking tackles, yards after contact. There it goes. Inside the 20, be your own blocker. He will. And it's a 1st and goal all the way to the 8.
Georgia trying to create some momentum, and they found it. You go to your best player, A.J. Green, and then you go right back, get on the line of scrimmage, and allow the big uglies to get the blocks up front. And then the elusiveness and the yards after contact, lowering your shoulder. Scouts are going to love to see this from Caleb King, the spin away from a very good cornerback, Jimmy Smith, number 3 for Colorado. And then at the end, lowering his shoulder, being physical right along the out of bounds there.
Well, they had a 1st and goal on their first possession of the game. Had to settle for 3, 1st and goal. With counter action, quarterback Murray keeping it. Can he get to the corner? Turns it effectively past the 5, down close to the 3. Showed his escapability, like we talked about Tyler Hansen. Good wheels. Mainkey made the stop, tripping him up just barely.
Good athletic ability for Aaron Murray. But you can tell he's a redshirt freshman, Joel, because he just invites the contact as he goes down. I can tell you firsthand, that hurts right there. Ron Collins, the defensive coordinator for Colorado, he's not too happy with this drive. After all the momentum was with Colorado, Georgia answers the bell on this series.
Quickly, just 3-4 snaps later from their own 20, 2nd and goal to the 3. Run Brown in motion. Go the other way with King, trying to cut it back, but there was penetration up the middle. And an outstanding play made underneath. You talk about one of the big uglies, Marcus Harrod. The right end, the senior from Escondido, got underneath.
Colorado does a great job of filling the backside cutback lane. Caleb King needs to understand if you want to cut back in the zone play, Joel, you've got to go north and south and not cut all the way back to the left side of the line of scrimmage. Get behind your pads. You're inside the 5-yard line.
Georgia 1 for 3 on the third down tries. And they capitalize after the great big and explosive plays they got. Green and King, and what a play going up. A.J. Green bringing it down. Classic catch. Touchdown Georgia.
Control in the air, one-on-one with Jaleel Brown, and the one-handed grab for A.J. Green. You will not see a better catch in college football this year.
It'll only be reviewed because the guys up at the booth want to watch it a few times too.
Timeout.
It was that
Colorado. This is their first of the first half.
Colorado calls the timeout. Maybe they were mesmerized by the play as well.
Well, Colorado wants the booth to review this one-on-one coverage on the outside. This is exactly what you want if you're A.J. Green. And he's inbounds. That is a sensational catch.
I think you said it best at the top of the telecast. The junior from Summerville, Georgia, or Summerville, South Carolina, A.J. Green. Best wide receiver in college football. No argument so far tonight. Georgia with the touchdown. They are still buzzing in Boulder after the catch by A.J. Green. Do you think the Bulldogs missed him just a little over the first 4 games?
They absolutely missed him, and more importantly, Aaron Murray missed him. They officially did look at this play up in the replay booth. And that is unbelievable. The body control as a quarterback when you know you've got 6'4", 212 on the outside, and he has that type of hands and body control. It doesn't matter where you throw that football. You just throw it high.
What about the vertical? You're 6'4" to begin with, and then you have that type of vertical to go over a 5'10", 5'11", even a 6 even cornerback.
He could be the best wide receiver to come out of the draft since maybe Calvin Johnson.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed as a touchdown. Colorado has been charged with the timeout and has lost their challenge.
A touchdown we're going to see for a long time to come.
Absolutely. You know, I know some people would say Des Bryant was a phenomenal wide receiver, Joel, but A.J. Green is better. He's a top 5 type of pick in the NFL. That was an amazing catch in the end zone.
And comes through with the big plays like we just saw. He's got 14 touchdowns over the previous two seasons, and his ratio on TDs to catches is very strong. Blair Walsh, the junior from Boca Raton, Florida, with the extra point. We got a good ball game going. 4 minutes gone by in the second quarter, and it's a 4-point lead for Colorado despite all they've done. 14-10. Bulldogs right back in it.
Coming up on the Geico Halftime Show, conference play heats up this weekend. Some terrific matchups among top 25 opponents in the SEC, Big 12, Pac-10, and in the Big 10, a major scare for number 2 Ohio State. And we're not only talking about the scoreboard, details and highlights coming up on the Geico Halftime Show. We get you back out to Joel, and Jim.
Thank you, Darren. It's taken A.J. Green a long time to get in the rhythm and the flow of the game and adjust after missing the first 4 because of a suspension, and it's well documented for selling his bowl jersey. He missed the first 4.
But they didn't even try to target him until that last series. They get him on the end around and then throw the fade in the end zone. If I was Georgia with the one-on-one coverage on the outside, I'd be targeting him 2-3 times a possession.
Blair Walsh with the good one. Hangs on. It'll be Jaffe from the 3. Back there with Clemens. Flag on the play. And Jaffe on his way down to the gang tackle. Short of the 20. But flags very early. So the big plays, 2 explosive plays. Caleb King, A.J. Green, and then the sensational off-the-charts play by Green.
During the return, holding number 12 of the receiving team. The penalty would be half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. First down.
Colorado, by the way, is one of the most penalized teams in the nation. It wouldn't be a shock. They've averaged over the last couple of years between 9 and 10 penalties a game.
Well, and their special teams unit has been very penalized during the course of this season. This football team has been penalized coming into this game 28 times. 16 of those have been called on the offense, 8 on the special teams, only 4 on defense. You got to clean that type of football up because this is the product of undisciplined football inside the 10-yard line, with Georgia having all the momentum after scoring a touchdown.
Give you an idea, Colorado 28 penalties over the first 3 games this year, only 14 for the opposition. So here we go. Hansen out of the gun. Rodney Stewart in the backfield. From his own 10. Quick one. On the out. It's complete to Trayvon Patterson, but good coverage on the outside as he's belted immediately by Cuff. Cummings actually started the sophomore from Augusta, but they were going to play both the senior Cuff and the sophomore Cummings.
This year is his first real playing time. Speaking of Vance Cuff, good skills on the outside, can cover one-on-one for Mark Richt and that Georgia defense. You saw the skills closing fast on Trayvon Patterson on the quick out route.
After the gain of a little more than 3. Taking it on the run. Patterson ripped down by Dent. Boy, he doesn't miss a thing, doesn't he? Hakeem Dent. The inside backer, the senior from Atlanta. Another solo stop, staying at home on the plays. We head back to Jim Knox. Knox?
Okay, Joel, A.J. Green just got up from the bench. Head coach Mark Richt came over to him and say, hey, welcome back, great play. I tell you what, the fans here at Folsom Field right on top of the players. You look at these Georgia fans, they're basically giving him high fives as well when he came to the sideline.
There's absolutely no room on the sideline at Folsom Field.
Zero room.
Yeah, they pack him in. When they say hit the wall here, you can truly hit the wall. In trouble, grab made by Stewart, nowhere to go. Flag on the play. Was there a late shot on the quarterback? Were they ever on top of the situation, though? Staying at home is Justin Houston.
They're going to get Darrell Gamble here. It's just a question of whether it's going to be targeting or a late hit on Tyler Hansen in the backfield. Both are going to be personal fouls here.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 50 of the defense. The penalty would be 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Senior Gamble, as you mentioned.
Live, this did not look like a roughing the passer. They're trying to set up the screen off the play action for Tyler Hansen, and he literally just throws it right over Gamble. I don't know what Gamble is supposed to do there. There's no way to hold up. He's inside of a step. Fortunate call for Colorado. That was a very ticky-tack call as far as roughing the passer goes.
Gamble feels the same way. So a critical 3rd down is converted by way of the penalty. Run McKnight in motion. Hansen will keep it, but again, they stayed right where they were supposed to, like Justin Houston. They didn't bite on all the action of the backfield with McKnight going one way, Stewart going with the quarterback with the fake. And the quarterback Hansen is put down. So no gain on that carry. And the 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Phillips Televisions. We continue from Folsom Field with 9 minutes and counting left in a very entertaining first half. The SEC in Boulder for only the 2nd time in school history, and with good reason. When LSU came here in 1979, they left with a 44-0 win. You don't invite them back after that. They run the H-back in motion. Now here comes the heat on Hansen, a hold, and they got away with it. Hansen breaking tackles, goes across the 34 to the 35.
You're right, 83. Cornelius Washington was held on the end of that line of scrimmage as Hakeem Dent is down. Here's Cornelius Washington on the outside, and he's going to find himself on the inside out of his rush lane as he spins in. And when he tries to spin out, Big Nate Solder on the outside, the great NFL prospect for CU, did get away with just a little bit of a tug, allowing Tyler Hansen to get to the outside. This is the matchup, Solder against Cornelius Washington, the 6'4", 260-pound sophomore. And when he's spinning away...
Yeah, unfortunately, one of the Bulldogs is down right now, and the one who leads him in tackles so far with 8 stops. Hakeem Dent will come back with an update in just a moment. Big 12 College Football Saturday presented by Phillips Television. So amazing you won't be able to take your eyes off of it. And brought to you in part by Hass Avocados. Kick off your party with fresh, creamy Hass Avocados. Nothing else will do. Just ask Jim Knox. If you didn't see it earlier, we'll show it a little bit later. Boy, Knox taken out on specials teams performance before the game ever started.
I mean, you talk about buckling it up. Jim Knox had to buckle it up before the kick.
He ran with Ralphie. He didn't account for Ralphie's handlers. It'll be a big third down for the Buffaloes now. Momentum shifting in this game. Will it continue to be that way on third and about 4? Hanson out of the gun, in trouble, and over the head of his intended target, Richardson, and closer to the defensive back Cuff on that play. So Houston was over there. It was over the shoulder of Cuff. And the pressure got to Hanson, but they give up a lot of sacks. They ran the ball effectively, the Colorado Buffaloes, to start the game, but they can't lean on Hanson to throw the football.
Well, what we've seen Georgia adjust to is the fact that they've got burned early in the game, bringing pressure. Now they're letting their front four kind of get after the quarterback and just cover deep. Hanson, the last 2 third downs, has been unable to find somebody down the football field.
Sophomore from Atlanta, Brandon Smith, waits for the punt from Grossnickel. Low wobbler. A miss early, got a block on the sideline. There he goes across the midfield stripe, and Grossnickel comes up to help out and make the play along with Jaffe. Great field position, though. A short field now for Georgia, and they start in Colorado territory for the second time over their first 4 possessions. 34-yard return.
You called it that low kick, and you're unable to get your coverage team set up in their lanes, in their rush lane responsibilities. Smith very close to the sidelines, trying to tiptoe.
Now Teal,
I
the
think
toe
his
is
heel
up.
was up.
Yep.
And he was able to stay in bounds. Terrific return from Brandon Smith.
Looked like a good 3-point shot to me. Inbounds and beyond the arc.
That's right.
From the 39, 1st and 10 in a 14-10 game. 8 to play, 3 timeouts on the board. With Green in motion. Play fake. Looking. Green available over the middle. Touchdown, Georgia! Things have changed dramatically at Folsom Field. So a long time-consuming drive by the Bulldogs. Walsh for the point after. And now, 14 unanswered. Puts Georgia on top. It was a 7-second drive.
The play-action pass gets the safety to bite just a hair, which allows A.J. Green to beat Jaleel Brown in the middle of the football field. Targeting A.J. Green, we talked about the fact that it was of the utmost of importance. Brown with the outside leverage, and Green runs right by him. The long strider and the speed of that 6'4" frame, able to get right down the middle of the football field, and that was an absolute strike given on the play-action pass from Aaron Murray, the redshirt freshman quarterback.
And Murray did hit him right in stride. You talk about finding your target. A.J. Green, 2 catches this year, 2 touchdowns.
That's a good percentage.
Slow start.
And think about this. They've run 4 offensive plays. In their last 4 offensive plays, Green has gotten the ball 3 times, and that's when they've gotten started offensively, scoring their 14 points. The reverse, the great fade pass in the back of the end zone on the first touchdown, and then the long play action post to Green down the middle of the football field for another touchdown.
First lead of the game for Georgia after they were stunned early. We talked about dealing with adversity, and I like when we'll get to some of the conversation we had with Mark Richt earlier this week, head coach of the Bulldogs. Walsh kicks it away. Coming over is Clemens at the 5. Take away the sideline, and Clemens with a pop right in front of the Georgia bench. That wasn't fair. Ogletree, safety out of Newman, Georgia. The freshman made the play.
This is what we've seen from A.J. Green today. His first touch of the season, tiptoes down the sidelines, a big gainer setting up Georgia for then this play. the fade route, and one of the best catches you're going to see in college football all year long. The first play on the next series, you go up top, target, the big play wide receiver, and another touchdown for Georgia. It's no secret this guy is one of the best players in college football, and when they started to target A.J. Green is when the momentum transferred from University of Colorado to Georgia.
Out of the gun. Hansen keeps it himself. Nifty move by the quarterback past the 30 to the 31. Doughton making the stop, the inside backer. I mentioned that we talked with Mark Richt, the head coach of the Bulldogs, as they're going to hurry up, which they wanted to do coming into the game, but this is the first time we've seen it. Available. Grab in and out of the hands of Clemens because of the pop, the jolt over by the corner on that side. What a shot by Brandon Smith, the sophomore from Atlanta. Timed it really well.
This hurry-up offense is what got them going in the second half against Hawaii after being down 10-0 at halftime. Going to it now in the second quarter. Still a lot of time left in this second quarter.
They scored 31 in the second half. Unaccounted for, but not too late getting over there as they pick up Ryan Dean. Talk about form, textbook stop. Cummings coming up, the sophomore, making his first career start tonight.
He has continued to show the ability to get onto the football field, Sanders Cummings has, with his consistent play and his disciplined approach to the game of football. As a corner, you have to be disciplined. Outside leverage on this defensive call, inside leverage on the next. And Mark Richt awfully happy with his sophomore corner, number 19, Sanders Cummings.
There's been a serious shift in the momentum of this football game. Now Grossnickel. Now the last one returned. Hangs up a good one. Tries to pin Logan Gray to the sideline, but he gets a block and he gets a big lane. That's the 40. And chopped down going across the 42-43 with a flag on the play. Tyler Alice made the stop on special teams. Now, what will the flag be about?
It's over here about the 40-yard line of Colorado, the 39-yard line on the sidelines. Possibly one of the attackers on the outside for Colorado getting pushed out of bounds and then trying to run out of bounds for an extended period of time. Joel, you've got to get back inbounds if that is the call. That's where the flag seems to be.
While the kick was in the air, personal foul, number 25 of the receiving team. The penalty will be half the distance to the goal from the spot where the kick ended. First down.
Personal foul. And he said half the distance to the goal. That would be the largest mark-off we've ever seen. Well, they're throwing the flag actually at the 26, so he's accurate. It is half the distance. Instead of 15, it's going to be 13. And it looked like the flag was upfield more.
It did. Now Georgia having to start inside their 20. Mark Richt, one of the most successful coaches in college football. Those 90 wins coming into this year in his first 9 seasons. He's one of only 7 coaches in the history of college football to do that in his first 9 years as a head coach in college football.
One thing that stood out with me when we talked to Mark Richt earlier this week, he said, don't let the last 3 losses beat you this week. Don't let it linger. Don't let it impact you. So far, so good. Now it hits the ground. Off the fingertips on the low throw to A.J. Green. He had Brown out there for the kick-out block, Marlon Brown, and it looked like Brown was going to account for the man downfield. It could have been a big play. Instead, 2nd and 10.
Ball might have been tipped, at the line of scrimmage. Looked like Murray had a hard time getting that ball from the center. On the quarterback exchange, center quarterback exchange, he was unable to deliver a strike to A.J. Green on the outside.
Can Georgia run the football because most of their rushing yards came on the Caleb King run and the reverse, the gadget with A.J. Green. Now Murray on 2nd and 10. The long throw to the sideline, and Green almost got the best of Jaleel Brown with that little deke inside. Almost found the sideline again.
guy that made this play happen is Caleb King. Gets the play action pass, fake, rolls over it, and allows the defense to react to it. Aaron Murray sets up in the pocket beautifully. We see Caleb King, after the fake, even get a block on the outside against Patrick Mankey. That's what allowed Murray to get the ball outside to A.J. Green and make it a manageable third down situation now at 3rd and 2.
Chappis is in their fullback, and they were looking forward to his return because he missed games with an ankle injury. Caleb King sets up in the eye. Murray out of the edge. Wide open receiver, and he's got the first down. Just barely spun down. Taking it in over to that side, the tight end Orson Charles, the sophomore from Tampa. You like that action, don't you?
I love the ball handling from Aaron Murray, extending the ball, letting the defense see it, and then bringing it right back to your belt. That is textbook from the quarterback position, and then getting his left shoulder all the way to the throw spot, Joel. A lot of quarterbacks, especially young quarterbacks, don't do that. Murray did on the last play, allows him to deliver a strike and get a first down.
5.5 to play in the half. The drive is still alive for the Bulldogs, up by 3. Adjusting nicely, cutting it back against the grain. They rush it down over to the left side, and he's got it to the midfield stripe for a big first down run. When Georgia can't run the football, it seems like something's wrong in the SEC. They came in averaging only 124 yards a game on the ground, and that stood out more than anything else.
And they want to play the hot back, and right now that's Caleb King, number 4 for Georgia, the junior. You see downfield, number 77 is going to pop into your screen. That's Trenton Sturdivant. All the way downfield, 10 yards down the football field, getting a block, and it's no secret. You get A.J. Green going, the safety's back up, you can run the football much more effectively.
It's 171 yards on only 19 snaps for Georgia. So you do the math. Plenty of big plays. Murray out of the gun again. Man, a huge hole over to the left side as Alien for the first time holds on to the football, and I bring that up because he's had 2 crucial fumbles. They've both been inside the 5. He's brought down by Uzo Duribe. What a nice first run for the young man from Stillmore, Georgia.
On back-to-back plays, big number 77 Sturdivant with critical blocks. Last play down the football field. This play covering up the outside linebacker, number 58 Tyler Alice, allowing Washaun Ely to get down the football field. That's big-time block from the big fella down there playing left tackle.
And you saw the brace, Joel, was coming off a knee injury. He looks bigger than 6'5", 310, doesn't he? On a first down. It's Murray, wide open A.J. Green. How do you not account for him? Green into the secondary and a first down forced out by Brown at the 20. How was he uncovered?
The deception, the play-action pass. We used to call this a slide. It was a boot slide, bringing a player all the way across the formation. It looks like Green's going to go all the way block down on the outside linebacker. The fast flow after a lot of very effective runs for Georgia gets the defense going, and Green is wide open. But again, the ball handling of Aaron Murray is causing havoc now on the Colorado defense.
King back into the game as they continue to keep it fresh and alternating back in there. King over to the right side, finds the lane, hits it hard, but an equally outstanding play. Coming over, Curtis Cunningham. Second big stop he's made on the back of Caleb King. Was a sturdy back himself at 220 pounds at about 5'11". So now is 2nd and 8. Clock rolling with 3:38 to play in the half. Things have totally turned around in this game. At one point I mentioned it was 163 yards to 15 in favor of Colorado, and that was after each had 2 possessions. King stays in there. He's got 4 carries for 55 yards. 2nd and 8. Keep it on the ground. King sliding off his right tackle and shutting him down. They put him down at the 15. Brown coming up out of the secondary. And also a strong safety who was victimized on that A.J. Green play so close to the line, Anthony Perkins.
Well, Aaron Murray showing his knowledge of the football game, checking the play. He's going to bring his hands back, and this, what he's doing, he's going to signal to the tailback, Caleb King, with his hands. We're going to the opposite direction. Now the calls are made up front. We're going to run to the boundary side, and that's what enables that run to be effective. Now 3rd and 5, manageable situation for the Bulldogs.
It's a mature redshirt freshman, as you mentioned, from Tampa.
Again, changing the play.
Play clock all the way down, and a alertly before that cost them 5. With a second left on the play clock, uses their first time out of the second half. His coaching staff has to like what he's doing.
Love what he's doing. This right here tells you that he's a student of the football game. He understands what he's doing. He has control of the offense, Joel. How many times do we see the sidelines have to take that timeout as the clock is winding down? But as a quarterback, that's your responsibility. And the redshirt freshman Aaron Murray is doing an outstanding job on this series. Ever since they got A.J. Green going, now Murray can settle in, and all he has to do is be a game manager. He doesn't have to go and have the weight of the world on his shoulders. He knows he has a great player out there in A.J. Green. Now he just has to manage the situation. What he did on the last play, changing the direction,
and you remember
that's part of the process. And then he was changing the play, takes a timeout, doesn't get knocked back 5 yards.
You remember what Mike Bobo, his offensive coordinator, told us earlier this week? He said, this young man, he comes in practice 3:30, he's 12:15, 12:30, he comes in to start studying film.
And he studies film all night long.
And now he's looking at a 3rd and 5. Chapter 15 of the Buffaloes. Need to get it just barely inside the 10. Out of the gun. Middle of the field. He's hit as he releases and out of bounds. Grab made over there by Charles. And Mainkey hit the quarterback. The pressure came.
They called this an interception.
No,
Jaleel
they're
Brown.
going to say Brown actually brought it in inbounds.
Jaleel Brown gets this main key with the pressure on Aaron Murray. This causes the football to float into the back of the end zone. Jaleel Brown comes down with it, and yes, his foot was in bounds.
I didn't think he had possession. Thought it was out of bounds completely. And it's a good call on the side as that takes away a guaranteed 3 with the way Blair Walsh can kick. So Mark Richt in disbelief on the sideline as well. Jaleel Brown with the pick. Well, they want to look at it again, but they'll see what we just saw. And I thought from all the way up here, he was out of bounds, but he got a foot down with control.
Timeout, Georgia. They're challenging the ruling on the field.
It looked like he had control.
With that right foot now.
Yeah, and as they both went out of bounds, thought it couldn't be a completion.
It's another angle. Jaleel Brown going back over his shoulder, and he has the football there with that foot in bounds. That's controlled, and the foot is in bounds. That's going to be ruled an interception and a correct call for the Buffs, and such a huge play, like you said, with Blair Walsh being so automatic as a field goal kicker. That's definitely going to stand up.
What about the second foot even? No, that's out of bounds. But the first, with control, appeared to be a pick. Thought it was out of bounds from away, and we're on the opposite side of the field. But that is a huge play with all the momentum belonging to Georgia with 2:19 left in the half. And it looked like a 6-point lead as a lock from an extra 3 if they couldn't get the first down.
Blair Walsh was a finalist last year for the Lou Groza. He was 20 of 22 from field goal range and 4 of 5 from 50 plus. He's made 102 consecutive PATs coming into this football game. So the lock of 3 points taken away by the tremendous catch in the back of the end zone and interception by Jaleel Brown, a guy who will play on Sundays. A tremendous talent. We've seen A.J. Green get the best of him earlier today, but now Brown coming back.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Interception, first down on the 20-yard line.
It looked from way up here on the opposite side, but it was out of bounds.
Before Georgia called timeout the challenge, therefore Georgia will not be charged with the timeout.
And is it up to Orson? And I'm talking to the tight end. Is it up to Orson Charles to all of a sudden play defensive back and make sure that you pop it away from the D-back?
That's
Punch
tough.
it away.
That's tough because Orson Charles also had just as good of a chance to catch it, Joel, for a touchdown. At that point, I think you have to go for the catch, but you do bring up a great point.
Let's head down to Jim Knox. Knoxy.
Joel, Akeem Dent, the fine linebacker for Georgia, out of the game right now. Knee injury. They're going to look at that at half. We'll see what happens.
Man, how much does Colorado gamble as we thank you, Jim Knox, downstairs? He'll keep it to the ground. Rodney Stewart will keep the ball as they tried to rip it away. and goes down to the 22. So still 2 timeouts for both Colorado and Georgia. Hurry up coming from Colorado on 2nd and 8 at their own 22.
2 minutes is a lot of time in college football. You don't necessarily have to be in a rush. You just have to have a sense of urgency on the football field.
Hansen looking for Scotty McKnight for the first time, and he's got the first down across the 30. And goes out of bounds. That'll stop it at about the 35.
And Scotty McKnight continues his consecutive games with a catch, now at 41. That's a tremendous mark. Just an easy out route for Scotty McKnight. That's the exact type of completion you want as a quarterback, Joel, in this situation. Something on the edges that can move the chains and stop the clock.
So from the 35, Hansen floods the left side. Behind Dean, intercepted. Picked off. Look at I found. Coming up with it, Marcus Doughton. So the gamble. Do they go to the locker room? Only trailing by 3. No. They wanted some more points, trying to take the lead. Will it backfire as Georgia gets it back?
Now some flags. We got some jawing going on the field. Coaches are not going to be happy about this. This may go against CU.
So another short field.
What an athletic play from Doughton.
Right, off the deflection.
Kind of on his back shoulder off the deflection from Ryan Dehan, the tight end for University of Colorado. Poor throw from Tyler Hansen on the back shoulder.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Both occurred after the play was over. Personal foul against the intercepting team, number 25. Personal foul against the offense, number 17. The fouls were continuous action and therefore will offset.
Another look at the interception. He's upset. Vance Cuff, and that's who he's talking to, was called for the personal foul.
Hansen never settled himself in the pocket, and that's why this ball is high and away from Dehan. Unable to follow through and get that ball down to the right side, and Doughton with the incredibly athletic play to intercept that pass and give the Georgia Bulldogs another opportunity to put points on the board.
Carlton Thomas takes over in the backfield. Now send Chappis, the fullback, to join him. On the play fake. A lot of time for Murray. No. Pocket collapsing. Adjusts and throws it low. Chappis was available, but Cunningham right in the face of the quarterback.
I've got to credit Jimmy Smith, because anytime you see a big play action, you think one thing for Georgia, and that's A.J. Green. Jimmy Smith on the outside, number 3, the cornerback for Colorado, blanketed the great wide receiver from Georgia the entire play. He was unable to come open. That's why Murray had such a hard time in the pocket trying to find a target down the field.
It's the 3rd time, Joel, that Georgia started in Colorado territory. Over the first 2, all they had to show for it is a Blair Walsh field goal of 33 yards. Their first series of the game after the big boy can return. But they get points before they go to the locker room. Pocket holds up, running room instead. It's A.J. Green available and knocked away at the last second. What a play by Jimmy Smith. It hung up a little bit too long.
And that's what Green is saying to his young quarterback right now. Throw it up to me, big fella. I can go get it. I'm 6'4", 212 pounds. Jimmy Smith working against A.J. Green, and Green has a step. All Murray has to do is put this back towards the back of the end zone, but because the ball floats, Jimmy Smith with his good recovery speed, able to get up there, lengthen out. He's big, he's 6'2" as well, and bat that football down.
The senior from Colton, California, Jimmy Smith, saving a score. And now what will it be on 3rd and 10? Bringing the blitz. Murray with time underneath. He's got his tight end White, and he's got the first down. That'll stop the clock, as he's dropped at about the 26, minute 18 left in the half. Jaleel Brown on the hit.
You got to understand situational football in these situations. 3rd down, Aaron Murray knows he doesn't have to go to the sidelines to stop the clock. You can stop the clock with a first down plus. You're in plus territory. Clock's not a factor. Go underneath to your tight end, move the chains.
Ely takes over in the backfield. Use him as a decoy. Green had to fly and go parallel to the ground to even make the grab. Was a little wide at the 25. Now do you think about stopping it? Now they'll continue with 48 seconds left in the half. 2 timeouts on the board for Georgia. From the 25 on 2nd down. to 35 seconds. Straight four-man rush. Murray with time. Jump ball into the back of the end zone and out of the reach of his intended target, Israel Troop.
Georgia looking for a penalty flag on Jimmy Smith. They're not going to get it. Troop thought he was held up the whole entire time on the fade route. Jimmy Smith does a great job of not contacting Troop with his face or his eyes towards Troop. When they're back to the football, they're going to allow that incidental contact because you have a right to the football just like the wide receiver does. So a great play by Jimmy Smith. He saved 2 touchdowns thus far on this series.
3rd and 8. Is it going to be a long field goal try? Murray, little bubble screen, A.J. Green, and he's trapped from behind. What pursuit coming up. It was B.J. Beatty, the senior from Hawaii. So he clipped him from behind around the heels. And a field goal try will be coming up now for Blair Walsh.
Going to allow this clock to roll inside of 5 seconds so that they don't have to kick the football off. They'll take a timeout and allow the Lou Groza finalist to take his shot from about it. It looks like it's going to be about a 40-yard field goal.
So they stop it, and they'll put 2 seconds up on the clock. Walsh, perfect for the season. Man, we talked about what he did last year, 20 of 22. And well within his range. But don't forget next week, triple header right here on College Football Saturday. Big 12 will take center stage. Baylor, 55 of the board for Baylor today against Kansas. That's Texas Tech and Baylor at the Cotton Bowl early start. Then UCLA against Cal in the Pac-10. And Colorado with Missouri, a night game at Mizzou. And what about the numbers for Robert Griffin today? He only accounted for 444 yards of total offense. Not a bad day at the office.
I tell you, this guy is special. He's an absolutely special talent for the Baylor Bears. And the reason why I believe they've got the potential to go to a bowl game this year.
Now the 41-yard try on the final snap, and he left it out to the right. Never brought it in with a draw. First miss of the year for Blair Walsh. That's a shot. A lot of points left out there for Georgia in the first half. They could be up by even more.
They had great field position all first half long, starting the last couple of drives in plus territory. They had the options, they had the opportunities to get points on the board, and they leave without points in either of those drives. Blair Walsh just pushing it out to the outside, never drew back like you said. And Dan Hawkins and the Colorado Buffaloes have got to be happy about this. Sailing wide right with some motivation going into the
It looked like over the first
momentum.
Over the first 30 minutes should have been more points on the board. We go down to Jim Knox. Knoxy.
All right, thank you, Joel. Coach, I tell you what, it took a little bit to get that offense going, but once A.J. Green got involved, you guys got going.
Well, that was, I don't know what took us so long to get him the ball, but the easiest way to make sure he gets it is to hand it to him on that reverse, so that's what we decided to. We had a couple of other plays that could have gone to him, but we had to just make sure he got it.
I appreciate the time, Coach. Halftime in Boulder, Colorado. Georgia leading the Colorado Buffaloes 17-14 right now. Time for the Geico Halftime Show with Darren Horton. Darren?
Thank you very much, Jim. Welcome to the Geico Halftime Show. Conference play heating up on this weekend. Some terrific matchups among the top 25 in the SEC, Big 10, Pac-10, and the Big 12. The first week in October brings us the Red River rivalry. Highlights of number 16, Texas, number 8, Oklahoma, coming up when we return on the Geico Halftime Show.
Football Saturday continues from Boulder, Colorado, as it's a celebration this weekend at Folsom Field and the entire weekend in the city of Boulder for the 1990 national champions. It's a 3-point lead, though, for the Georgia Bulldogs at the break, 17-14. And as we look back on New Year's Day 1991, well, it was the 1990 season. Number 1 Colorado taking on number 5 Notre Dame. And this pass play set it all up for Eric Bieniemy. The go-ahead score. The point after, it made it a 10-9 final. Defense came through at the end of the game, and Colorado winning their first and only national championship for a head coach, Bill McCartney. Charles Johnson at quarterback. Bieniemy was off with the go-ahead score, and this was the scene, Joel, Clad, last night. It was fun for all of us. We were out there for the Pearl Street Stampede.
Well, and this is something that they've incorporated here the last couple of years with the football players from the University of Colorado. But that team back, there's Alfred Williams on the left, J.J. Flanagan in the middle, Mike Pritchard, and then this halftime scene just moments ago introduced individually the entire team. Over 80 members of that 1990 national championship team, plus 5 of the seniors from 89 got to come back and were honored. Great scene here at Folsom Field.
Yeah, an outstanding effort by the Curtin administration to put it all together as we head downstairs to Jim Knox with the all-time winningest coach in Buffalo history. Knoxy.
All right, thank you, Joel. Here he is, Bill McCartney. I tell you what, Coach, what a last couple of days, reuniting with the players you won the national championship with 20 years ago.
I've been out of coaching 15 years, so I haven't seen some of these guys in all those years. Some of them look the same and some of them don't, but it's just great. And the way that we've been received by everybody, it's just been tremendous.
What do you remember most about that year? What was it?
4 times late in the game, we came from behind. Any of those games, we don't win the national championship. We had what it took. Those games were all on the road. We came from behind in the 4th quarter and won them.
When you look back at that and the way your life unraveled after that as well, you took from that year, and also it kind of just set the stage on what you did as well in the future, didn't it?
It really does. It was a springboard for me. But it's a great privilege and honor to be a college football coach.
I just wanted to see if Ralphie was coming our way. He's clear. All right, appreciate it, Coach. Congratulations. Enjoy the rest of the night. Joel.
All right, Jim, and we don't blame Jim Knox for trying to avoid Ralphie after his run at the start of the game where he hit the deck. Ralphie's handlers took care of Jim Knox. And welcome back once again, Joel Myers along with Joel Klatt. And Georgia, with a 3-point lead at the break, could have even more. Don't forget, 3 of the first 6 possessions in this ball game started in plus territory. On the 50, on the positive side, in Colorado territory.
They even had a couple of shots there late in this first half that could have gotten to A.J. Green in the back of the end zone, but Aaron Murray underthrew the great wide receiver for Georgia. One of the things that this ball club needs to do is they've got to establish that running game on first down, because what we saw them do is establish the running game and then the play action pass, getting Green the ball down the football field. That's what was so effective for the Bulldogs early.
And we mentioned that the Bulldogs should be up by more, but it was all Colorado at the start of the game. In fact, they had an early 14-3 lead. They shocked everybody.
Early, it was Tyler Hansen. The over pursuit from the Georgia defense, and he caught them. They pursued up the field out of their rush lanes, and his athletic ability down the football field was able to get Colorado inside the red zone and ultimately into the end zone. Matt Barr, the tight end / H-back for Colorado, gets into the end zone. It was more of the same later in the first quarter, but A.J. Green got going in the second quarter. This, just an amazing catch. There's nothing you can say. One-on-one coverage, and then this guy goes up one-handed and gets the football. It was the reverse that set that up, but then the play-action pass that I spoke of earlier, getting A.J. Green behind the safeties and allowing him to stretch the field vertically and get to the end zone. That was a very accurate throw by Aaron Murray. He needs more of the same in the second half.
Our Geico players to watch in the second half, and they were fun to watch in the first half. A.J. Green, who Joel was just talking about, and Tyler Hansen, who was hot early and made the explosive plays, and a lot of it on the ground. He broke tackles. In fact, we talked about the first possession, the 80-yard drive. He had 62 of the 80 yards that he accounted for on that opening series, the first 7 points of the game. So a 3-point lead. And let's see if it does shift after the miss by Blair Walsh, the place kicker, his first miss of the year. eHarmony.com, our halftime stats, and all even after it was so one-sided for Colorado over the first 15 minutes of play.
Well, the turnover by Georgia in the end zone, Jaleel Brown with that great interception, and then the missed field goal. Those are opportunities that they're going to look back on and wish that they could have gotten points. But Colorado, they've got to like where they're at. I know the stats look even, but Joel, it was very first quarter, second quarter, oriented, a momentum football game. Whoever can grab that earliest in the third quarter is going to have a great chance to separate themselves from the opponent.
Back downstairs we go to the fastest man against any Buffalo he can find, Jim Knox.
All right, Joe. I was just smoking that guy. What? No problem. Dan Hawkins at halftime just preached perseverance. That's what he told his team. Down by only 3 points. He said, guys, hang in there. Let's make some plays in the second half. We can win this thing. So perseverance is what Dan Hawkins had to say. Right now, the special teams behind me, they're all pumped up. They're ready to go. They're confident, guys. This is their second half. They got to find a way, though, to slow down A.J. Green. No doubt about it. That guy was a one-man wrecking crew in the first half.
He's one of those guys that you have to account for on every snap. And in fact, because they've been soft on the perimeter, as Mark Richten and the offensive coordinator said, without A.J. Green, the defense of the opposition was soft on the perimeter. They could load it up inside because they didn't have to account for A.J. Green.
This game, at least early in the third quarter, is going to be more for me about the offensive line of Georgia trying to establish themselves, because that play-action pass was so effective that the safeties are going to have to honor A.J. Green and go back. You saw what they came out and did, just a lackluster performance early in the football game with great field position, and then they got the ball to A.J. Green on the reverse. Couple plays later, the fade, get their first touchdown. But those last two possessions, those are ones that they should have come away with points on.
And it's funny how things work, because you take on a personality as a team, and I know I can tell you, Joel, in your career, fast start, slow start, and it's been a slow start for Georgia in all 4 games. They've given up a touchdown their last 4 games on the opening possession.
But in the previous 4 games, they didn't have A.J. Green, and he has sparked this comeback to now put them back in the lead, and they can play from front in the second half.
Back for Georgia, Carlton Thomas. And the running back will bring it, losing his balance, and it cost him. Across the 15, trying to adjust and angle it over to the left side. He is dropped at the 15. So Georgia starts the second half with their second worst position. Begin a drive tonight. And Aaron Murray, efficient to say the least. 10 of 18, 180 yards. He was picked off once, and that was on that floater, the wobbler that we talked about, deflected into the corner, and it looked like it was going to be out of bounds. But it was a great play by Jaleel Brown to make the pick.
Mankey with that pressure hit Murray right when he threw that football.
Safety shading over to the side. You've got to believe A.J. Green. So they set up the tight end Charles on the same side. First snap of the second half. Ton of time for Murray. Made a good decision. He almost left the football behind them. Goes out of bounds, a yard shy of the first down at the 24. I think he needed to bring it with him.
It almost popped out of his left arm as he took off across the left side. Murray, a ton of time in the pocket, standing balanced, looking undoubtedly for A.J. Green down the football field. But again, they've got to establish the run first. CU not biting like they did in the first half on some of those heavy run action type of passes.
Second and short, Caleb King in the backfield behind the fullback they were ready to get and return, Sean Chappis. And it's Chappis, his first carry of the game. And they felt with the return of Chappis that it would fall into place with their ground game, that it would be in sync again, because he's such a great blocking fullback.
And they're one of the few college teams that have stayed with this traditional style, one tight end, even a couple of tight ends and a fullback. Very similar to how Stanford is built offensively, with a lot of grit and power in the middle of that offensive line, keeping a fullback and a tight end in the formation.
And keeping the defense honest. A.J. Green up against Brown, top of your screen. Murray looking in that direction and going deep in the one-on-one matchup. There's Green, he's got it, and he's out of bounds. Inside the 25, they'll say he's out, and he did a good job of separating himself from Brown at the very end of the play as it came in.
Late hands from a wide receiver. The special ones give late hands. Big play action again from Aaron Murray. Good ball handling, bringing the ball out and back to his belt. And then he goes up top. He's not going to underthrow. He made that mistake earlier in the game. And then the late hands, holding Jaleel Brown off with your left hand. He is a very talented wide receiver, Joel, but I'm surprised that he has so much moxie in the back end, knowing exactly what to do, holding the defensive back, bringing late hands up.
Yeah, and that's like a hip check. And I'm talking about putting your hand on the guy's hip to make sure you've got that separation. Thomas, best run of the night for Carlton Thomas. He battles for about 9 down to the 11. Impressive start to the second half now for the Georgia Bulldogs.
And no surprise, it's because they targeted A.J. Green. It's going to let everything get going. The safeties are going to back up. You can run the football. Thomas on the last play, getting some free room. On the left side, Mankey running free, and he whiffs on the tackle. Defenses can ill afford to have guys miss tackles in the backfield because they're responsible for that gap. Thomas just replaced him.
Fullback Chappis takes the belt from the side, rolls forward down to about the 8, first and goal. So the last 14 points of this game have been for the Bulldogs of Georgia. Can they make it 21 unanswered after they fell behind very early 14-3?
The red zone defense for CU is very stout. It's tough to run the football against this defense this close to the goal line because of the safeties being so tight. Ray Polk, the former running back, Anthony Perkins, they played so tight to the line of scrimmage that's when you got to go up top to A.J. Green, and right now he's singled up at the bottom of your screen with Jimmy Smith.
King and Chappis in the eye once again. A little toss. Good block by Chappis. King went inside and still battles down to the 6, but we saw Chappis on the lead block take the legs out. So he goes inside. If he goes outside, maybe a different story.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Chappis wouldn't have to make that block on the safety Anthony Perkins from his strong safety position if Perkins wasn't playing such heavy run defense. They're allowing their great corners, both of them will play on Sundays, to go one-on-one with A.J. Green. They're going to play with fire, and Georgia has tried to attack that in this football game already.
Green in the slot. They shift Brown over to pick him up. You've got the kind of size advantage. Let's see if they look for something into the corner of the end zone. A little fade action for Green instead of bullet right over his head, but he's held by Brown. He had hooked him on the hip, it looked like.
Got a little bit at the back of his jersey on the break from A.J. Green. Went inside, gave him a shimmy inside, and on the break outside, Brown got some jersey.
Holding 23 of the defense. Penalty will be half the distance to the goal. First down.
So first and goal. They should take it down to about the 3. Here's the hook, and then the grab. He hooked him first, and then he grabbed him from behind.
Pretty easy call, but playing wide receiver is so much, Joel, about leverage, and A.J. Green establishing inside leverage, knowing that he's going to go outside because of the fact that Brown knows he doesn't have inside help, so he's trying to fight back, and then the plant of the foot, the left foot, quickly back out to the right. That's what makes him so dangerous. One-on-one, he's almost impossible.
They're talking about where they're going to spot the ball. Linesman came over. They've got it at the 4. And will they leave it there? It'll be first and goal from the 4. So this is the opening series of the second half. 3 minutes gone by in the third. 9 of 11, the opposition in the red zone against Colorado.
On the left hash, this is a prime opportunity to roll your quarterback to the right. He's got all the field to work with. Green on the top of your screen with Brown.
Single is King with Brown in motion. Caleb King can't get out of the backfield. Coming off the edge, an outstanding play by Colorado's John Major, the inside backer. He's only a sophomore from Parker, Colorado.
Colorado defense on the backside of run plays right now are over pursuing. Patrick Mankey from his outside linebacker position over pursued that play, which tells me as an offensive play caller, fake the same run, roll out to the right, and give my redshirt freshman quarterback a run pass opportunity on the outside.
Play fake and the rolling right. He's got Brown. Touchdown, Georgia. Flag down back at the original line on both sides. Did somebody line up offside?
That was an illegal motion here.
Yeah, was it an
Illegal shift,
shift
on the offense. Penalty would be 5 yards from the previous spot. Remains second down.
Georgia hurting themselves. And Mark Richt out there. A word for Aaron Murray. So they'll bring it back on second and goal. Put it outside the 9.
That's your job as a quarterback, to make sure guys are set. You're not kicking motions too early, getting them in the right formation. He had plenty of time on the play clock. That's part of managing the game that he will continue to grow into as he becomes more mature as a quarterback.
Well, A.J. Green over on the sideline now. Bring in Troop. Out of the gun. Murray, design run for Aaron Murray, but he's accounted for. Still got it and takes a shot on the sideline. At about the 8. It'll be third and goal. Brown pushing him out. This drive, don't forget, started all the way back at the Georgia 15. And the big play, once again, A.J. Green, who went over to the sideline with 7 catches for 119 yards, and Jim Knox are working on him now. report from Jim Knox momentarily on A.J. Green. 4 of 8 on the third down tries. Failure in the red zone. Will it cost them? Murray, a ton of time, wide open. Brown does it again. This time it counts. Touchdown, Georgia. And he was wide open.
You can only pump fake and wait that long if you've got great protection. And that's what Georgia provided. Aaron Murray pumps the outside route, allows Brown to get all the way back inside the linebackers. Easy score for Georgia. Walsh for the point after. He took out some anger on that extra point after the miss in the first half, his first of the season. So the last 21 points in this contest, the Georgia Bulldogs. And they're up by 10 as we return to Folsom Field. Big 12 College Football Saturday brought to you by Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Call Geico 1-800-947-AUTO or visit geico.com. By Philips Television, so amazing you won't be able to take your eyes off of it. And by Toyota, moving forward. And we are, as we advance, about 5 minutes gone by in the third at Folsom Field in Boulder. If you haven't been here, get to Colorado. It is devastating. The backdrop, the foothills of the Rockies begin right here. And it is a magnificent scene. And the Georgia fans, I give them credit. They're smart. They took advantage of it. They came in force. Even the coaching staff, Mark Rick told us this is the wives trip. They choose one game a year to take all their wives on. And Bulldog coaching staff brought their wives along, most of their families.
Yep. Waiting back. It is going to be taken away. It'll be Trayvon Patterson taking it away from Jaffe across the 30. And a flag at the end of the play. They get it out to about the 32-yard line. I was like, get out of my way. So, good return over to the left side. A 22-yard return.
During the return, holding number 22 of the receiving team. The penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
And that was the other return man, Jaffe.
Jaffe on the outside. As soon as you get your arms outside of the frame, they're going to call that. Georgia player spun around. I know it's a tough position for Jaffe, but that's going to get called 100% of the times. You put the hands on the defender, and he spins around. Your arms get extended. Tough situation.
Good news for the Bulldogs. Akeem Dent, their leader defensively, back into the game as we go down to Jim Knox. Knoxy.
All right, right now, A.J. Green, though, down on the ground, as you see, right underneath here. They are stretching out his left hamstring. Left hamstring is tight. It's going to be interesting to see he gets back in, guys.
It's Labor Day weekend for him. It's the opening weekend of the season. Scotty McKnight lost underneath, and what a Vance Cuff delivered the shot at about the 27. We've seen 2 or 3 stops like that from Cuff.
Boy, Cuff is a physical player on the outside. He plays with such great leverage, keeping his outside arm free. Man. This defense can definitely fly around. Cuff doing a sensational job on the outside against a very smart wide receiver, Scotty McKnight.
Gain of 8 on first down. Biggest lead of the game now for Georgia, up by 10. Hansen with Stewart picking up the first down, and there he goes with a flag down to the play. Well, they have an angle on Rodney Stewart inside the 20. He is tracked down. And making the stop, Sharon Williams. But what about the flag way back at the 27, 28-yard line?
It's going to be offsides on Georgia. This play will stand. First and goal inside the 10.
Offside. Defense. Number 58. Penalty is declined. First down.
Got it to the right guy for 68 yards. The one they call Speedy, Rodney Stewart.
Believe that they got the left defensive end lined up in the neutral zone. And then the option on the outside. All the Georgia defenders, including number 2, fall inside out of pitch responsibility, and Speedy able to just race down the sidelines. You can see why they call him Speedy. What a great design play from CU on the outside.
Yeah, Colorado gets Patterson in the field very late. Gives it up. Making a miss is Stewart. I thought he bounced back out over to the near side because there's nobody there. He gets into the 4. We have good vision up here. We're so high in Boulder, it's like all 22 coaches footage for us. It's easy. Williams, who made the touchdown saving tackle, in on that one. And we are upstairs, and we're not complaining because we're in Boulder. And anytime you're in Boulder, you're in pretty good shape.
That's right. Absolutely. And Colorado trying to get some of that momentum back on their side. With that big run from Stewart, they got to punch this into the end zone, though. They can't settle for a field goal on this drive.
Now 2nd and goal to 4. Stewart again, making a miss. Shifty guy, put down though, grabbing him from behind by the jersey, Gamble, and he wasn't letting go. So a 3rd and goal coming up, inside the 3.
A lot of small running backs for Colorado. It hurts them inside the 10-yard line. Stewart trying to find a lane, but great disciplined gap control defense from Georgia until Gamble is able to get his hands on the speedy running back for Colorado and bring him down at the 4-yard line.
7 carries for a little over 100 yards now for Stewart, who's injected some life into this offense. 8 minutes and counting left in the 3rd. 3rd and goal. Power formation has him in trouble. Escapability, and when he makes it, yes, touchdown Colorado. Phenomenal play by Hansen.
Is always effective as a quarterback. You come out and you just throw a pump fake at a defender. He freezes Bakari Rambo, the safety for Georgia, and that's what allows him that 1 yard that he needed to dive for the end zone. Gamble had his opportunity in the backfield, and now the pump fake freezes Rambo.
Gadget play, and a 2-point conversion is good. They go to the tight end, Ryan Dean, and it's Cody Hawkins who throws it. The gadget makes it a 2-point game.
The normal holder lines up in the shotgun, just rolls out to the right, and Dehan, your starting tight end, easy 2-point conversion from Colorado. Now all the momentum with Colorado as they draw within 2 points, 24-22.
They're celebrating right now in Boulder. It's early, and it's not New Year's Eve. Well, kind of every night's New Year's Eve in Boulder, actually. 24-22, 7:46 to play in the 3rd. And the longest kick return of the season was Boykin had it to start the game, and it was a 72-yarder. But Georgia fans are used to that after what he did last year for them. When he returned touchdowns for 93 yards. He had a couple of 100-yard returns, 3 overall. And here comes Boykins. From the 6. He's a glider, making a miss, gets to the outside, looking for another little crease, and takes it across the 30 to the 31. I don't think he touches the ground. I think he just skims across it.
Yeah, that was a great call. He definitely does glide, and as Georgia comes back on the field offensively, let's take a look at their last touchdown play on the previous series. Anthony Perkins, the safety, is going to bite on the pump fake to Marlon Brown. Murray does a nice job of selling that pump fake, and Brown turning all the way back to the wide receiver. That's what sells the fake and allows him to get that easy touchdown behind the safety.
Now Murray gets him out at the 31. Gonna be Carlton Thomas. Man, slowed down in a hurry after a gain of only a little more than 2. Jimmy Smith on the outside, the cornerback over there. So all of a sudden a key possession for Georgia when it looked like after 21 unanswered points, everything was in their direction. But they're hit with a haymaker. First, Rodney Stewart, the 68-yard run, and then a 5-play, 81-yard drive, less than 3 minutes off the clock to make it 24-22 on the 2-point conversion.
Got to keep your defense on the sidelines, possibly get points out of this drive if you're Georgia.
It'll be 2nd and long. And trying to adjust. There's Jimmy Smith to make sure he doesn't. It's Carlton Thomas once again. So I know it's early in the second half, but this is a key 3rd down for Georgia. Now we remind you the 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Phillips Televisions. Georgia 5 of 9 on their 3rd down drives. 3rd and a little more than 5. Got a 3rd and 6. Green is not back in the game. A.J. Green still on the sideline as they continue to work on his hamstring. Now here comes the blitz. Murray in trouble, and he's on his way down. Colorado got exactly what they wanted. 3 and out. It's Josh Hardigan over there, the defensive end, along with Curtis Cunningham.
The blitz from the wide side of the field, bringing a couple of linebackers. The A gap gets pressed all the way back into Murray's lap. CU's able to collapse the pocket and ultimately get that sack and a huge 3rd down stop, getting the football back for their offense.
First career sack, because he really did slow him down, and that was Josh Hardigan, the left end. Now Patterson waits for the punt, and a beauty from Butler. Backpedaling, he'll get it to the 20. And making a miss past the 30. So a good return of a little more than 12, about 13 yards after the 52-yard bomb from Butler. What does Colorado do when we come back? Trailing by 2 with 5. It continues to be a 2-point lead for Georgia, 24-22 after they were down early by 11, the Bulldogs, but Colorado gets it right back. We'll remind you, tomorrow a doubleheader on Fox NFL Sunday. It all starts with Panthers taking on a Saints team looking to come back after a tough loss. I really want to see, though, the Redskins and the Eagles. The return of Donovan McNabb, and you know it's going to be a brotherly love welcome.
You would think so. You would think so. He's so successful there in Philadelphia, and now with Michael Vick playing so well, he might be playing better than any quarterback in the National Football League right now for the Philadelphia Eagles.
It all starts tomorrow, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. The Ford Fox NFL pregame show brought to you by the all-new Ford Edge. Drive one, so get ready for NFL Sunday. Hansen back in at quarterback. He's done most of his damage on the ground, believe it or not. 83 yards passing on 8 of 12, and now in the deep play, he's got a man deep, wide open. Can he get there? Yes! The grab is made. Will Jefferson, the sophomore from right here in Boulder, with the explosive big play.
The coaches told us this guy has been practicing as good as any player on the team, and Will Jefferson comes out and beats the Georgia defense down the middle of the football field. Another big play-action fake in the pocket for Tyler Hansen, and then a terrific ball. Will Jefferson does not have to break stride once to catch this pass. That's the key to the play, because Vance Cuff had some good coverage, and Hansen's got to be thrilled with that. Got his Buffaloes in gear at the 22-yard line.
46 yards over the top by Hansen. No safety in the neighborhood. Hansen wheeling away from the pressure. He's got Dan, and Dan caught it out of bounds. Now, did he get the foot down? They're saying, yes, it's a catch. It'll be reviewed inside the 14, but it may have been the foot that came down out of bounds first.
I thought the first foot that hit was out of bounds, and now they're going to correctly rule that's incomplete. His left foot, he leaves the ground. Dehan, the tight end, leaves the ground. Yeah, and that's his first foot clearly out of bounds.
It'll be 2nd and 10. Good call. Good help by the official, the second official on the sideline coming up to make the play. 5 minutes to play in the 3rd. Long game, wild game, and we're not going anywhere. Totally entertaining. Split out Espinoza into the game. Drop, set up the screen off the fingertips of Stewart, and he's lucky he didn't make the catch because Gamble was gunning for him. Now this was just before we broke away. A.J. Green making his way to the locker room, but it's the opening game of the season for him, and I said it's like Labor Day for him, so we go down to Jim Knox for the latest.
Well, there is some good news with A.J. Green going to the locker room, guys. It is a cramp. That's what they're telling us. Cramp in his right hamstring, so what they're going to do is try to fill him up with some fluids in the locker room to see if he can get back out here.
All right, thank you, Jim. It'll be 3rd down now. So Green in the locker room, 7 catches, 2 for scores, 119 yards. Little play action to buy some time, and now throwing it to a wide open. Lockridge has got it. On a jump ball, they're saying no. It's incomplete. It looked like Megan Richardson made the grab, 89-20 over there. But no, Paul Richardson did not control it. True freshman. We'll get another look.
Runs the wheel route, beats the Georgia defenders, goes up high for this ball. That's got to be a catch. This will be a much better look. Comes back down 2 feet, controls the football, and then when his elbow hits
is under further review.
Is when the ball actually comes loose. They are going to review this. I expect this to get overturned, Joel. That looks like a catch to me. He's controlling the football on the way down. There's his first foot, which makes it a catch. Now his second foot, and as he goes down, still controlling the ball, but when his right elbow hits the turf is when the ball came loose. This is our best angle, what the guys in the booth will be looking at. Controlling the football the whole way, Joel. And then now, when his elbow hits is when it comes loose. That should be a catch.
So it looks like 1st and goal inside the 2. It's being reviewed. Southern California, Los Angeles young man, Gardena. Product Paul Richardson with the catch. Goes at about 6'1", 6'2". And anxiously awaiting word. And you can see he was looking up at the big screen in the end zone.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Incomplete pass, 4th down.
It'll be 4th down.
It's an interesting call there. Guys in the truck had great shots. Camera guys out there doing a great job in Folsom Field. Had the shot. Looked like he controlled that ball all the way down. Paul Richardson goes up high to catch it. Controls the football with 2 feet onto the ground. And then when his elbow hit, that ball came loose. That should have been a catch.
So now a field goal try. Coming up. It'll be a 38-yard attempt. Goodman has missed from beyond 40. He's only 1 of 2 on the season. Basically a 50% kicker on his career. And for the lead for Colorado, it's on its way. And Colorado, believe it or not, with a flag on the play as Goodman took a hit at the end of the play. The kicker took a shot, and Colorado's got the lead.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, number 25 of the defense. The penalty's half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
So they will take the points off the board.
That's the 3rd personal foul penalty against Vance Cuff, the corner from Georgia, number 25, coming around the edge and diving into the kicker. He actually slips.
Took the plant leg out.
Took the plant leg. That's absolutely going to get called every single time. His foot slips out from under him, and that's why he's unable to avoid Goodman. Doesn't matter if you slip. That's going to be the call.
So the points off the board. Still a 2-point lead for Georgia. But it's right outside of the 10 for Colorado with a fresh set of downs. Now it's up to Georgia to say, okay, you took him off the board. You had a lead. Scrape it away. Create the turnover.
Got to be opportunistic if you're the Georgia defense. For Colorado, you got to continue to hammer away with that offensive line. That's where the success has been for the Colorado Buffaloes, is running the football and then going play action and option off of that.
Jefferson, bottom of your screen, going in motion. Now they toss it. It's Stewart on the edge to the 5, dives to the pylon. Touchdown, Colorado. What a call. Action going one way, Stewart the other, and the extra point. Or will we get an extra point, or will it be another try for 2?
The misdirection, faking it to Jefferson one way, flipping it out left to the speedy running back Rodney Stewart. Dives for the pylon to get into the end zone. They are going to take a look at this upstairs as this play goes under review. Gets it all the way. As soon as you hit the pylon, Joel, with the ball in your control, that's going to be a touchdown. Every single time, lays out for the end zone. Terrific play design. That's exactly what we talked about. Their success has been off of the play action type of that misdirection, run fake type of motion, and they fake the end around to Will Jefferson and flip it out. That's a great way to leverage the defense right away, especially down in the red zone, because they don't have as long, Joel, to recover from getting out leveraged quickly.
And you think there's trips with motion going to the wide side of the field.
Right, exactly.
So Mark Richt on the sideline waiting after the official review, which we believe, but we shouldn't guess anymore after
further review.
the last
The
one.
ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Will Eric Goodman come out? Yes, he will. And will it be a conventional extra point or another gadget? Colorado sets up like it's going to be a kick with Cody Hawkins, the coach's son, as the holder, who threw for the 2-point conversion to the tight end D in the last time. So 4-point game. It's one of those games, odd even. First 15, first quarter, it was all Colorado. Then Georgia took over. Now Colorado has picked it up in the third. Is it going to be, and then all of a sudden, will it be Georgia again in the fourth? One of those nights. Goodman for the point after. And with the rapid recovery of Eric Goodman after the personal foul, it's a 5-point game.
Well, the kickers tend to embellish things a little bit as they lay there and try to draw the flag. But Vance Cuff, another mistake, and this Georgia team has talked about. They've been in football games. They just haven't finished football games. They haven't finished drives. And we've seen that thus far tonight. Leaving points on the board, the missed field goal, the interception in the end zone, allowing Colorado an extra set of downs here outside the 10-yard line because of that roughing the kicker penalty.
Rodney Stewart, the key, though, once again in that drive. A key component, and he gets the touchdown to the 10-yard run. And looking at what developed, that was last night's game, Oklahoma State, or Thursday night, rather. I've been here a few days now. Loose track in Boulder, 38-35. Oklahoma State with the win. Baylor and Robert Griffin. Man. What a day. Oklahoma, Red River battle. A lot of people felt Oklahoma was going to snap that 2-game losing streak to Mack Brown in Texas. What a game between Texas Tech and Iowa State in Ames, even at 24. And Tech will match up right here on Fox Sports. Early start next Saturday morning at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas.
That should be a great matchup. Tech trying to find themselves a little bit with a new coach, and then Robert Griffin playing sensational football right now. Might be, well, he very well would be player of the week in the Big 12 Conference this week.
Brandon Boykin will not be able to bring it back. It'll stay in the end zone about 8 yards deep in Georgia. It looked like it was going to be a 1-point deficit. So we'll see what that develops and the impact of the Cuff personal foul that you were talking about. Because if instead of a 1-point deficit of 25-24, it's now 5, 29-24.
And Georgia's going to have to go on the attack without their wide receiver, A.J. Green. Still in the locker room, dealing with cramps, we're told, from the Georgia personnel. But that's where they've had success, is going to A.J. Green. They haven't had much success without him on the football field.
He had been the focal point of the defense, and now he's in the locker room. Come out in the eye. And on a play fake, Murray going up top and going deep and overshooting his intended target. Trying to find Tavares King, the sophomore, from Mount Airy, Georgia.
I think Georgia's going to the well a little too much here. You don't have A.J. Green. I don't know why, if I was Colorado, I would bite on a play-action pass right now, because Georgia has not shown the ability to sustain a running game throughout a drive. So the play-action pass is going to be nullified by the fact that Green's not there and you're not being successful running the football. You got to find some other way to move this football down the field.
You've got a bunch formation with Wooten over there and 2 tight ends, including Orson Charles, who's caught a couple. And they'll give it off, making a miss, but can't get away. It is Rantavius Wooten, the sophomore from Belgrade, Florida, with his first touch of the night. And he's dropped back at the 17, a loss of about 2 or 3.
This is the true freshman, Derek Webb, staying home on the reverse, not biting on that play-action type of run fake. Comes out, gets back into his responsibility, and is able to get the ball carrier down on the ground. Nice play from a true freshman linebacker, seeing his first real action in college football.
Inside of 4 left in the third. Third and long. They've got Ely in the backfield. And linesman coming in. Was there a timeout called from the Georgia bench?
Timeout, Georgia.
Yes.
This is their first of the half. Will be for 30 seconds.
So we'll keep it right here with 3:44 left in the third. There's no penalty. It was a timeout for the Bulldogs. And it gives us a chance to take a look at our Lot Impact Player of the Week, presented by Acura. And what a good one, as UCLA won once again, but we saw what he did last week against the Texas Longhorns in Austin. And that's Akeem Ayers, a junior linebacker, defensive end for the Bruins, a speed backer, as UCLA beat Washington State today. They were down at one point in the second half, 28-20. UCLA scored the last 22 points of that game. So now Rick Neuheisel gets ready for back-to-back games with Oregon and Cal. Real difficult opponents, but at least they're above 500.
Sure, absolutely. We don't know what's going to go on with Oregon after their bowl game tonight with Stanford, but Cal, very good team as well.
Now Murray out of the timeout in the conversation with the staff on 3rd and 13. Chappa stays in the block, and Murray's on his way down. It's Hardigan, who did not have a career sack come into the game, and he's got 2 tonight, the junior from Fort Lauderdale.
Hardigan on the left side of the defense. The junior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, is just going to beat Josh Davis, the tackle, around the edge. It's a speed rush. Lower your right shoulder, which he does a great job of getting low.
Butler with the punt. And a fair catch called for by Patterson. As great field position, a short field once again for Colorado. So they'll have it outside of their own 43, put it at the 44 with a 5-point lead. Top 25, and you see the records have been updated with the outcome so far today. We just talked about Oregon. They've got Stanford.
Stanford really impresses me. I think they're a very good football team. Texas 3-2. You start thinking about that long streak that Mac Brown has of 10 victories coming in jeopardy this year. Missouri off this week. We'll see him next week as Colorado visits Columbia. Oklahoma State with that great win on Thursday night against A&M.
They run Richardson in motion, give it to Stewart. Short game as he plugs his way across the 45, trying to get lost. A little shifty guy who goes at 5'6", 175. So if they say he's 5'6", that must be in 2-inch heels.
But he's stocky. I mean, you can just tell. You look at him, he's a tremendous workout warrior in the weight room, kind of a gym rat type of a guy, very strong. You know, Mac Brown compared him to Darren Sproles, that type of guy, very strong lower body, can get around, especially inside the tackles.
It'll be Stewart once again. Same result, basically. 1.5 yards, 2 at the most, across the 46 to the 47. So you've got great field position, and you've gone somewhat conservative.
3rd and about 8. Now for the Colorado Buffaloes. Maybe a long 7. They're going to bring Scotty McKnight back in. They've been looking at him on the sidelines and in the locker room. You remember he took that big hit from Vance Cuff a couple of series ago. I don't know. He's a little bit shaken up. He's got to be your most reliable target in this situation. 3rd and 7. He's going to be in your slot closest to you, down on the lower part of the screen, now in motion.
Same side as Clemens. Richardson, bottom of your screen. Out of the gun, neat, a little more than 7. It's Stewart. Well accounted for. Great coverage by the Georgia backer on that side.
Pretty conservative on this series, especially with the field tilted towards the end zone the Buffaloes are going to. You got all the momentum, the field position, not quite able to get anything going offensively. You got to credit Georgia's defense for making a great stand there, but this is the prime spot. You've got the momentum. It's close to the 50 for a fake punt, and we know Dan Hawkins likes to roll the dice.
Summers is back out there, as we saw him on that stop. Not Cuff after the personal foul. And Logan Gray. Fortunate it was on the sideline, because the indecision, if that's the middle of the field, it's off his fingertips. It's out of bounds, though. And the Bulldogs will have it at the 18 after the directional punt of 36 yards. FoxSportsSouth.com. And they've got the SEC covered. So log on right now. Access writers reporting from every SEC school throughout the week, along with exclusive video, interviews, analysis, plus after every game. Check it out tonight. Log on, see highlights, and the post-game press conferences. It's FoxSportsSouth.com, and it covers your favorite SEC teams. Now the Bulldogs trailing by 5 after they were up by 24-14 early here in the second half. Getting it outside, King making a miss, staying in bounds. A good run. Caleb King has been their most effective, and especially yards after contact. And that wasn't much, but he escaped it just the same.
We haven't seen a lot of Washaun Ely, but you're right, Caleb King, number 4, the junior. He has been their most effective back. They like to stay with the hot back. They've got 3 that they like with Thomas, King, and Ely. But right now, King's going to get the carries because they feel like he's in the best rhythm.
He's got 8 so far. 46, make it 63 yards. Second and about 4. Long 4. Chappis, the fullback, stays in, and King's got a huge lane to run. Weaving his way for a first down. He did a number on the safety. Safety, as Mainkey made the stop, Perkins didn't know which way he was going.
Colorado's trying to sit back in a 2-deep secondary look, which allows you to run the football. There's no cutback player. The offensive line creating a big hole for King, but Perkins gets juked out. He's trying to keep outside leverage. King does a nice job of getting him outside and then jumping back. The jump cut inside for a first down.
Could be the final play of the third. Inside of 10 seconds. On first down. Deep drop, middle of the field, wide open, it's complete. Orson Charles, the tight end. They feel like they get a mismatch with him because he's got size, but he's also got good speed at 6'3", 240. As Perkins makes the stop, but Georgia picking up the pace again, down to the 35 of Colorado. What a roller coaster ride this baby's been at Folsom Field in Boulder.
Momentum back and forth, Georgia trying to capture some of that. This is a good drive, moving the chains a couple of times.
Through 3, Colorado by 5, 29-24. You're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by Phillips Televisions. College Football Saturday, presented by Phillips Televisions, continues. Folsom Field, Boulder, Colorado, our DirecTV game summary. And as you look at these numbers, each team through 3 quarters of play has taken exactly 48 snaps. 341 yards of total offense for Georgia, 346 for Colorado. As A.J. Green, fortunately for the Bulldogs, looks like he could be available in the 4th. That would be great news.
Big ovation from the Georgia faithful there right in front of their locker room as he jogs back on. Not on the field right now on first down.
King's in the backfield along with Chappis. First snap of the 4th, and it comes on a first down to the 35 of Colorado. Deep play fake, and a good lane to run. Murray's got the first down and slides down. Save at the plate inside the 20 with a first down, and we're safe with Jim Knox. Jim.
All right, Joel, good news. A.J. Green just ran back on the field. All it was, that left hamstring cramping up. They gave him some IVs in the locker room. He's good to go, it looks like. But, you know, once you get cramps, they're hard to avoid after sustaining them for the first time.
Let's see how he holds up. Coming out up top of your screen, wide side of the field.
Common for a first game. This is his first game of the year.
He's matching up with Jimmy Smith on that side. He's giving him
coverage.
About a 10-yard cushion. Now Murray looking, trying to spin away. Eludes the pressure. Does a great job to get back to the line. And takes a shot at the end of the play, even though he was trying to slide feet first.
Trying to go back to Green on another play action, but Colorado able to condense that pocket, get after Murray in the backfield. Able to spin away. I'm impressed with his elusiveness. Murray, he's known for being more of a pocket type of passer, but his athletic ability really has stood out in tonight's ball game.
It'll be a 2nd and 10 after he got back to the original line of scrimmage. Otherwise, it's a loss of 6 or 8 yards. Little twist up front. King finds a lane. Nice adjustment. Caleb King first and goal all the way inside the 5 down to the 4. How about stopping on a dime there for a big back?
I'm sure he was committed to going left, and he just stops himself with his left leg. He cuts back, and he gets Perkins to dive all the way the safety from Colorado to the right side, and then the physical run inside the 5-yard line. That was a terrific move from Caleb King. clearly the guy right now who's the hottest back for Georgia, and they've had their most success when they've been able to run the football because they want to throw that play-action pass. Now with Green back on the field, but you can only throw it effectively if you're running it effectively.
That was good for 16. King with 10 for 92 yards. He stays in the eye behind Chappis on 1st and goal from the 4 as Georgia looks to regain the lead. Chappis, the fullback, just plows his way between his center and guard. And I don't blame him. He was on a pile of bodies. If you don't hear a whistle, don't stop.
Chapp is a guy that the Georgia coaches think he can play on Sundays. He's kind of an H-back type of guy. They're just going to give him this is just a fullback belly type of play, trying to utilize the power of the inside of the offensive line and the fullback. He never was down, but his momentum clearly was stopped. Whistle blew.
Yeah, forward progress had ended. Green, wide side. Only receiver out. Looking for the fade in the corner. A.J. Green out of his reach. Spinning around with Jimmy Smith. He looked to the inside, then had to go back over the other shoulder.
This is a terrific matchup. Jimmy Smith is 6'2", 205 pounds. He's going to be a first-day, high-round draft pick in the NFL draft. A.J. Green's going to be the first wide receiver taken. These are two big physical guys on the outside. That ball just thrown too far for A.J. Green to go up and explode up and get it. Possibly those cramps coming into play, not able to explode, jump up and get that ball.
Now the jumbo look. Slide the H-back. On 3rd and goal, looking in the corner, and it's backed away from Orson Charles. Coverage with the safety, Perkins. And there was a flag, but was there movement because they were pointed to the left side of the offensive line? Will it be motion? Illegal shift once again.
Illegal shift on the offense. Penalty will be declined. 4th down.
Big hold for the Colorado defense. Bruce Figgins is lined up as a left tight end, number 89. He kind of rocks back while they're in motion.
It'll be almost like an extra point drive from the 20-yard field goal attempt. Blair Walsh into it. And will that miss at the end of the half of 41 yards by Walsh come into play? That'd be a factor. It's a 2-point game. He hits it, and he's so automatic. They're used to it in Athens, but that one got away. It's a 2-point game after the field goal by Blair Walsh. Joel Klatt can do that and a lot more, I promise you. As we welcome you back to Folsom Field, Boulder, Colorado. Time now for our Toyota playbook, and how about a 68-yard run to fill it up for Speedy Stewart?
This is the drive that ended up giving the momentum to Colorado. The defensive end, he's going to be your quarterback player, and then as he comes upfield, he takes the quarterback, but 3 players don't have their responsibility covers. The safety, he's supposed to cover the alley. The corner on the outside, he's got the pitch man. And the outside linebacker, he's also supposed to fill the alley, all out of position. See who gets the blocks. And the result is a long 68-yard run from Rodney Stewart that puts CU in a position to score another touchdown.
Walsh gets into it. And does he have another beauty as Patterson lets it go. It's a 1st and 10 at the 20. So Blair Walsh has only missed 1 field goal this year. He only missed 2 last year, but it's a 2-point game, and he was so upset with himself. While the 1990 champions were being celebrated at halftime, he was a few yards away. He came out, they met in the locker room, 5 minutes? He came back out and started working on his kicks.
Looked at the clock, and they keep a clock for halftime. He came out, and there was still 12 minutes left in halftime. He was out that early, trying to practice those kicks, and even the last one, it was a little bit of a low liner, so clearly he's struggling confidence-wise tonight, and especially in a 2-point ball game, that could be huge coming down the stretch.
Lockridge in the backfield with the tight end Dean. 1st and 10 for the 20. A little waggle action. He's got the other tight end, and it's complete. It goes to Luke Walters, first grab of the night for the senior from Lakewood, Colorado. Took a while as he came from left to right.
This is your classic bootleg. You fake one way on the zone action. You bring the tight end all the way across the football field. He was actually open a little bit sooner, but Hansen was dealing with some traffic there and some pressure in the backfield. Was unable to get to his throw spot or get balanced to throw the football until late. But it's still a 2nd and 1. That's a great first down play for Dan Hawkins and the Buffs.
Approaching 12 minutes left in regulation. And the ball almost put on the ground by Lockridge. He lost it. It was loose. Saw it come out early.
Looked like Georgia caught that ball.
And was it covered by the running back Lockridge? Who's the strongest in the wrestling match at the bottom of the pile?
It's a tug of war. No signal given yet.
I remember you told me a long time ago, when you get in those scrums, it still belongs to Colorado. You used to close your eyes because inevitably they poke you in the eye.
Something's going on down there that you don't want to talk about or experience again. This is just on the transition from Hansen to Lockridge. He never had it. That's the quarterback's job. The running back has got to keep his eyes up on the offensive line, on the line of scrimmage, so he can see the cutback lanes. It's the quarterback's job to put it in the pocket and secure that handoff.
So not only does he cover it, but he advances it to get the first down to the 31. Hansen with pressure coming and put down by one hand with a flag in the secondary. What a job, though. A one-handed job by Justin Houston. Flag deep into the secondary. You normally see defensive holding.
Right.
And that was fast, that flag.
There is no flag on the play for holding. Second down.
It was quick when the quarterback is he's barely in the pocket and gone. So it's a 29-27 game. It's back on the sack by Houston, the outside backer. And he's shown up on film since the beginning of this game.
That's poor game planning from Colorado. You can't allow your tight end D-hand to block one-on-one against Justin Houston. He's too athletic on the edge.
A loss of 8, second and 18. Talk about being off schedule. How will it impact the series? Trying to get outside. And bouncing around is Stewart. The speed of the Georgia defense. Cuff got over there. Sean Williams got over there. We've talked about that since the beginning. But this is a huge third down for Georgia defensively if they want decent field position.
This game has been all about field position. Georgia was unable to take advantage of all the opportunities they had with great field position in the second quarter and late in the first quarter. Colorado has captured the momentum, but Georgia, with the opportunity here to get off the football field, critical down, 3rd and 13.
Well, they've hit 50% tonight, 51% coming in over their first 3 games, but this is 3rd and about 13. Straight 4-man rush. Hansen in trouble. Escapes again. And wide open is Stewart for the grab of the first down. Give the credit, though, to Hansen. It looked like another sack.
This is what a quarterback like Tyler Hansen provides for you. The ability to run on the outside is going to put Bakari Rambo, the safety, in an unbelievable predicament. He's on the edge, and right there, now he's got to decide if he's going to come up and stop the quarterback run and leave his man, Stewart, which he does. And Hansen is just able to dump it over the top for the third down conversion.
Hansen now, 11 of 18. 136 yards passing. Lockridge takes some punishment along the way, down past the 46, inside the 46. Kwame Gathers on his back. So if you look at the raw numbers by Hansen, 11 of 18, not bad, 130 plus yards. But what he's done with his feet to keep plays alive.
And it's his presence on the outside. You can't measure that on the stat sheet. You know, the indecision that you see from Georgia defenders when he breaks the pocket, that's what makes him so special and so hard to play against.
2nd and long. Now, Hansen quarterback draw, and it didn't take anybody. It's almost like it was a little rush, too.
Well, they didn't have the defense for that play call. If you're going to call a straight, empty backfield quarterback draw, you got to accompany a check with it. Georgia didn't adjust to the motion. As Trevon Patterson motioned out of the backfield, Georgia just sat there. They had too many guys inside the tackle box. You got to be able to check to a bubble screen on the outside because they were not covering the 3 wide receivers split to the top of the screen.
Clock continues to roll. 8:45 and counting. And another key third down if Georgia's going to get the ball back. 2 on each side. Here comes the pursuit. He can run for the first down, though. Hansen, will he make it? No! How about catching up from behind? Akeem Dent didn't quit on the play. I saw Gamble from behind, but Akeem Dent, how about his close?
The speed of Akeem Dent. He's 235 pounds, number 51, chasing down the speedy quarterback and able to get there. I don't know if Hansen knew he was there. He was trying to figure out a move against the defensive back who was closing, and Dent gets him down on the ground. Fourth down, biggest down of the game, 2-point game. Colorado going for it in Georgia territory.
And will they go for it? Or will he try to get him on a hard count? Go away from what he's usually calling. Fourth and a yard. Stewart's in the backfield. They'll go for it. Stewart got the first down. The little guy scrambled inside the 38 to the 37.
And Gutsy and the coaching staff on the CU sideline exploding off the sideline. This is what they've wanted, is a tough, gritty offensive line that you can put in these situations. Look at Big Nate Solder, number 78. What a terrific block. All the way back inside from his left tackle position, allowing Stewart to get that little seam, and that's all you need on 4th and 1 to convert the conversion.
Well, Stewart did not start the game, but he's been a difference maker tonight with 12 carries for 123 yards. He's finishing the game, isn't he? There's the toss. He gets a little chip over the left side. Lost his footing. Trying to put the brakes on. And gets still 3 yards out of the play, down to the 34. Hamilton had something to do with that, the free safety.
Colorado has been very creative as far as finding ways to run the football. We've seen some option. We've seen the misdirection with the flip to Stewart for a touchdown earlier in the game. A lot of different ways, which is making it hard on these linebackers for Georgia to key in on where the run play is actually going.
And last year they were 113th in the nation on the ground. They've got 217, make it 20 now. 220 on the ground. It's Stewart weaving his way through traffic and close to another first down. They're also killing the clock on Georgia to give Georgia potentially only one more touch of the football. So in a 2-point game, they're chewing the clock. It's a long drive that started back at the Colorado 20, and it's a 3rd and short once again.
Colorado has been terrific all season long in 3rd downs and 4th downs. They lead the country in combined 3rd down and 4th down conversion, converting at around 50%, which is a great number.
Short yardage formation on 3rd and a yard. Stewart goes low, and it's going to be the difference, as they say, the left foot, the right foot. And who do they give the ball to? Which linesman? He's from this side. It looks like he may be inches shy, but they just went for it on 4th down.
Running behind the big offensive line for Colorado, trying to wear down Georgia. Stewart trying to find a seam, but Georgia actually winning the line of scrimmage, playing great gap control defense. That's when you find just somewhere to dive for the first down, which Stewart did, and he's awfully close as they bring the chains in from the far side.
If he gets it, it's the nose of the football. That's it. But an alert play for the little guy to go low. So they put it down, and he's got it. Talk about a game of inches. It was exactly that. So another first down, and it cost more time on the clock for Georgia, trailing by 2.
The criticism of this football team and this football program from Colorado has been the fact that they have been unable to run the football effectively over the last couple of years. But what we've seen in the second half of the Hawaii game and now against Georgia, and especially in a critical 4th down series, is the ability to run the football when the defense knows you're going to run. And that's what this offensive line is going to pride themselves on after this game.
Now they keep Clemens in the backfield, a wide receiver. Now they put him with trips over to the wide side of the field. Hansen out of the gun. Little bubble action. Oh. Taking the shot on the catch. And it was a catch by Patterson. He didn't have a choice. He was rocked by Boykin.
Boykin read this play beautifully. They're trying to switch who blocks who on the outside, and Clemens was unable to get inside to block Boykin, who read the play beautifully. He just read it too quickly for Clemens to get in there.
And as soon as you say they're running the football, even though the opposition knows, they go away from it. It'll cost them 4 and may potentially put them out of field goal range if they don't get any more yards. Better than 7 minutes consumed on this drive. Stewart dancing very little. Inside the 30 down to the 29. So a drive that started back at the 20 brings up another 3rd and long. That's been the story. They've converted the 3rd downs on this drive.
And every time that they've converted in a situation like this, Joel, at 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, what you look at is Tyler Hansen has always been able to get out of the pocket, get out of the rush, and establish some sort of presence on the outside, forcing the defense into a decision whether they're going to take him or the receiver that they're locked man-to-man on.
This is the 14th play of the drive coming up. 3rd and a dozen. Will Hansen do it again? He's got a lane, and now he's in trouble. Takes the shot, and that knocks him out of field goal range. With the sack, Marcus Doughton, who came up with a huge play early. Doughton with the interception off a deflection. And will they try a long field goal by Goodman? And this is dangerous.
Hansen had Patterson open on the corner route on the left side of the field near the goal line, and he tucked the ball too soon. That's the only thing that you worry about with a running quarterback or a guy that has a lot of athletic ability, is that he'll tuck it down too soon. He could have converted there on the last play.
And will we see a 52-yard attempt from Eric Goodman? He's got a career best of 44. We'll talk about it when we come back in a 2-point game. College Football Saturday continues, brought to you by Phillips Television. Welcome back to Folsom Field, Boulder, Colorado. Joel Myers, Joel Klatt, Jim Knox, and a moment of truth now for the Buffaloes. 52-yard attempt after a drive that has taken 8:48 off the clock.
It was a great drive, running the football, establishing the offensive line, and now the decision. I know it's close to 4th and 18 right now, but Eric Goodman is not a high percentage kicker, especially from 50 plus, and this is spotted at the 52-yard field goal.
His career best is 54 yards. Backup quarterback is the holder, don't forget. Cody Hawkins. Snap is a good one. Clean exchange. It's on its way, and it's no good. Ben's left. Had to wait. The 2 officials below the goalpost had the distance, not the direction. Wide left. So still, with only 1 time on the board, a life for the Bulldogs of Georgia in their first ever trip to Boulder, Colorado. Timeout at good field position. Don't forget after the miss on the kick, as the Dogs will have it at the 35. Big 12 College Football Saturday presented by Phillips Television. So amazing you won't be able to take your eyes off of it. Brought to you in part by Z-Max. Performance you can feel for your car or your truck. And by Pizza Hut. Get all your favorite pizzas for a great price every day, only at your Pizza Hut. Folsom Field is the site. We've got 3:37 to play, and one of the dynamic players in all of college football is back on the field for the Georgia Bulldogs. How involved will A.J. Green be in the final series? The Dogs get it at their own 35, trailing by 2, 29-27. And Green on the wide side of the field up against Jaleel Brown. King in the backfield with Chappis. Short drop and a stop pattern, a good grab. It's a first down, taking it in Tavares King. Looked like he had glue on his fingertips that time.
Georgia does a nice job recognizing the defense, what Colorado was trying to do. The safeties float over, all the way over here, which means Jimmy Smith is on his way from the corner position on a cat call, a corner blitz. Tavares King, the young wide receiver, recognizes it beautifully.
Only a couple of first downs away from Blair Walsh territory, the place kicker. In a 2-point deficit, deep play fake, a lot of options, and it's Caleb King with a midfield strike. Other side was Chappis, and he was available, the fullback. Brought down by Minke, the outside backer. First and 10 line brought to you by Phillips Televisions. As you saw, Walsh getting ready on the sideline. And Blair Walsh just hit a chip shot, a 20-yarder. He also hit one to start the game. First point's a 33-yarder. And what about the failure in the red zone of Georgia? First and goal to the 4 on their last possession. Had to settle for 3 when they could have taken the lead.
Missed opportunities all night long for Georgia.
They should have had a lot more points in the first half. We talked about that. Murray on 2nd and 6. Little screen. What a call. Chappis with blocking. He's got a first down the sideline. First and 10 inside the 40. Not a bad call from upstairs. He's tripped up by Brown.
Getting 2 players back on your roster for this game. Chappis and Green, probably their best 2 offensive players. The fullback setting up the screen really nice from Aaron Murray. Keeping his eyes on the left side. Keeping the defense there. Allowing the linemen to get out, run the sidewalk down the numbers for Georgia, and Chappis with the first down.
Still 3 timeouts remaining. Caleb King, huge hole over to the left side, spinning for a first down, and now in Walsh territory already. Down to the 27. First and 10, Georgia. Big chunks. Early in this drive, it stops the clock with the movement of the chains.
And a mistake inside from number 31, John Major, the linebacker. He's scraping across and he leaves his feet. You don't want to do that because that automatically creates a seam in the defense, and King finds that seam and gets north and south right away. Impressive drive so far from Georgia. I like that they're still establishing the run, which is going to allow Georgia to get play action and go to Green later in this drive.
Colorado stops the clock for the first time in the second half. We'll come right back to Folsom Field in a 2-point affair. Georgia Bulldogs trying to snap their first 3-game losing streak in 20 years. Now with 1:59 to play, trailing by 2, have it in field goal territory, but decisions on both sides. Joel Myers, Joel Klatt, Jim Knox back at Folsom Field. Do you run the football and make them use timeouts? And I'm talking about Colorado. Caleb King put it on the ground, lost it. Poor exchange, Colorado gets it. Only 1 timeout remaining for Georgia. That's the devastating aspect besides the ball on the ground.
And mistakes continue to plague the Georgia Bulldogs. Murray on the exchange. Looks like he puts it directly in the pocket, what we call the pocket of Caleb King, and King just didn't roll over the football.
He tried to escape B.J. Beatty, who had the early penetration.
Turnovers.
It was covered by Major.
Turnovers against South Carolina and Mississippi State inside the 5-yard line. Not able to finish the ball game. They talked about the mistakes and finishing and unable to do those things. And again, they're plagued by the same misfortune here in Folsom Field.
So they were already at 43, 44 yards on the field goal try as Rodney Stewart breaks tackles. He's got a first down. All the way to the 44. It's been his night, hasn't it? He's brought down by a Rambo, but well over 100 yards and 14 on that carry.
2 tight ends, a fullback in the game. It's big boy football. Rodney Stewart holding on to the football as best as he possibly can, but this defense is going to be over-aggressive, over-pursuing, trying to create a turnover, trying to do something positive for Georgia. It's going to create big lanes to run through if you're able to get hats on hats at the line of scrimmage.
Final time out of the game used by Georgia to stop the clock with 1:43 to play. So Georgia, don't forget, early in the second half, led by 10. They were up 24-14, and give Colorado credit, they responded. Stewart has been the catalyst I mentioned. The rushing yards for Rodney Stewart, 17 carries, 149 yards. So he's got 149 of the 237. and that's been the key. Georgia finally ran the football. They only averaged 124 over the first 4 games of the season, so they got it up to 191. But you talked about the mistakes, putting the ball on the ground again.
Time of possession dominated by Colorado. They were averaging just over 33 minutes of football game as far as time of possession. They continue that trend here tonight.
Stewart just hanging onto the football. Now they try to run it out, and they should be able to. 95 seconds left in the game. Two more snaps and a stun group that made it in from Athens. And what a great group they were all weekend. Enjoying the Boulder area. Next snap coming close to about 58 seconds left in the game.
Coming into this ball game, Georgia on a 3-game losing streak for the first time since 1990. Colorado trying to win back-to-back games for the first time since 2008.
It's been a dry spell for the Buffaloes. Stewart again, and he wants to stay in bounds. He doesn't have a choice. Doughton's there to emphatically put him down. But again, clock running, and it's over. One more snap, and it is over. So I'm surprised Hansen doesn't have to hand it off. Next snap is coming with about 11-12 seconds left. And Colorado, as you mentioned, consecutive victories for the first time in 2 years since September of 2008. And Georgia can look back to the first half when 3 of their first 6 possessions started in Colorado territory. And out of the 3, they only got 3 points.
Personal foul penalties, the interception in the end zone, the missed field goal, the ball on the ground here when they're in field goal range. Missed opportunities for Georgia.
It's all over. The Buffaloes celebrate a weekend where they honored their national champions in 1990, and they do it in style.
Georgia had their opportunities to put more points on the board, but you got to give a lot of credit to an embattled program. The University of Colorado, their offensive line running the football.
So as they flood the field, we'll find Jim Knox, we hope, down there.
Okay, finally we found Coach Hawkins as he gets a victory hug there. Coach, I tell you what, Coach, talk about one of the keys in this game, running the football, 237 yards on the ground.
Well, I just think our guys been developing an identity. I knew it would click for him at some point. We got it going in the second half against Hawaii, carried it through. Georgia's a very good football team. I was happy with our guys. They made the plays to win, and then they got some momentum back, and then our guys came back. So we're doing a good thing here. I love our guys. We got good things in store.
Talking about making the plays to win, that defense coming up with a huge turnover towards the end of the game.
Yeah, that was big because they were in field goal range, and we knew we were going to have to do something there. We got a break. We haven't got a lot of breaks in our time here. That was one of them.
What does this mean to you in this program here at Colorado?
Well, I think I said before, we're doing things right. I mean, our guys are staying out of trouble and going to class, and the wins are finally coming. When you do things right, you're going to win.
All right, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
A lot of celebration down on the field here, Joel.
All right, Jim, thank you. And the Colorado Buffaloes took advantage of the missed chances, and there was one at the end of the half, and it was rare because Blair Walsh, he spoiled everybody in Athens, Georgia. But at the end of the first half, a 41-yard field goal, and he could never get it inside the upright. It faded. It did not draw. And then the final play, Caleb King, right off his knee.
In field goal range, Walsh, very good kicker in field goal range for Georgia, putting that ball on the ground. But Colorado did make the plays in order to come out with this victory. You think back, Jimmy Smith knocking a pass down near the goal line when A.J. Green was open. Colorado comes out and has a huge victory over a very good Georgia team. This Colorado team now prepares for Missouri next week. And like Coach Hawkins said, you got to be proud of a group of guys who haven't had a lot of success here at Colorado, but they came out and they battled through the momentum shifts and through everything to put together some great drives running the football late in the game.
Well, that 12 minute mark of the fourth. They got it and they held it for almost 9. That was the difference maker. It put the pressure on Georgia. Triple header next week. Baylor starts it all off. Texas Tech at the Cotton Bowl. Then UCLA matching up with Cal, and Missouri at home against these same Buffaloes. It all starts at noon Eastern, 9 out of the Pacific. Coming up next, Big 12 Live, and some of you also see the final score. For Joel Klatt, Jim Knox, I'm Joel Myers. Thanks for joining us in Boulder. A thrilling game, 29-27 Buffaloes. You're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by Phillips Television.
Time now for the Woman of the World Scholar Athlete, and it comes from Colorado, the Buffaloes. Where there's a will, there's a way. Will Precheck. He's a business finance major with a 3.56 grade point average, on schedule to graduate in December in 2011. First team academic all Big 12 in 2009. Has never received below a B average in any class in his life. Pretty good stuff. At Boulder High, he graduated 40th in his class of 460. He's also started every single game for the Buffs in his career, 4th on the team in consecutive starts. Congratulations to Will. And let's check on Will's team, hosting a disappointed Georgia Bulldogs team in Boulder, but it is the SEC. Fresh off the 4-game suspension, A.J. Green making his debut for the Bulldogs. Opening drive of the game, Buffalo's threatening. Tyler Hansen back to pass, and he'll swing it over to Matthew Barr. Hansen looked fabulous today, guys. Colorado up 7-0.
That first drive by Tyler Hansen, he moved with his feet and gave them an opportunity to perform and capitalize with a touchdown throw.
Now in the second, hooks up with Brian Lockridge, who races 35 yards down to the Bulldog 1-yard line. Hansen absolutely loving it as the Buffaloes are once again knocking on the doorstep. Very next play, Lockridge will beat down the door, taking the handoff in from 1 yard out. And Mark Ritt of the Georgia Bulldogs finds himself down 14-3. But the Bulldogs would respond. Aaron Murray will lob it up to Green, who makes the amazing one-handed catch. How about that one?
Maybe one of the best catches of the year. That's going to be on everybody's highlight reel.
I screamed when I heard it. I said, "Oh, Corby, look at this."
I thought somebody hit Gary.
Hey, guys, he's always open over his head. Later in the half, Murray back to pass. He'll find Green for a 39-yard TD strike. Green with 109 all-purpose yards in the opening half alone. And just like that, Georgia takes a 17-14 lead into the locker room. But in the third, Murray working it and firing to Marlon Brown for an 8-yard TD strike. That was 21 unanswered points for Georgia. Colorado, you're thinking, in trouble, down 10, but then there were serious hamstring cramps for A.J. Green. Then Rodney Stewart would just take over, guys. He'll go 65 yards.
Rodney Stewart didn't have any hamstring cramps on this run right here, guys. But, you know, this was gutsy on Colorado's part to let Georgia take the lead and then roar back on it.
Yeah, he gets it inside the 10, then Hansen back to pass, and they convert on the 2-point try.
That's what this kid gives you. Although he merely managed the game from an offensive standpoint, he gives you some mobility from his legs, rushing for 51 yards today.
What an unbelievable game to watch here on Fox Sports Southwest. 29-24, Colorado up heading into the final frame. Fourth quarter now, Georgia down 2 but driving. Caleb King can't handle the handoff there from Murray. The pig is loose, and John Major would recover for the Buffaloes as Colorado's defense comes up big late. And how about it? They knock off the 1-3 Bulldogs coming in. They parade onto the field 29-27. Even though Georgia was 1-3, it's probably the toughest team the Buffs have played all year. Let's hear from the guys who called it. The two Joels, Joel Myers and former CU quarterback Joel Klatt.
Thanks, an emotional night in Boulder where they honor the 1990 national champions. And as good as Rodney Stewart played off the bench with about 150 yards on the ground and came in as a spectacular reserve in special situations, it was Tyler Hansen, his escapability that made the big plays.
Well, and it started early in the football game. Georgia was going to come in and try to pressure this Colorado offense, but early in this game, Tyler Hansen found the seams, and he was able to scramble for some yards and get this Colorado offense off to a good start. That momentum that we talked about, getting the momentum on their side. Threw for the touchdown on the first drive, and Colorado was in business. His escapability in the pocket was key on third down situations, forcing indecision in the secondary for Georgia, and then ultimately getting it done with his arm as well. A beautiful pass down the middle of the football field, setting up another score for the University of Colorado. The coaches told us, Joel, about the fact that he hadn't put 2 back-to-back games together his whole career. He's done that now, beating Hawaii at home with a great second half, and now against a very good Georgia team, coming out and playing probably his most efficient game yet as a Colorado quarterback. You got to give a lot of credit to Tyler Hansen.
Well, consecutive victories for Colorado for the first time in 2 years, and some may say this is the biggest win for Dan Hawkins since he arrived here in Boulder. Let's head back to the studio.
All right, thanks, guys. Great win for Colorado. And, you think about this great start. The one thing that we're seeing as a common theme to these victories, Rodney Stewart.
Well, Rodney Stewart is a good running back, and I think Colorado committed to the run game in this football game. 236 yards rushing on the day, and Rodney Stewart was a big part of that. He had 19 rushes for 149 yards, and he has the speed, the elusiveness. A couple of games now back-to-back over 100 yards, and he also led the team in receptions today. 3 receptions in this football game, so he's a one-man wrecking crew. You put the ball in his hands, good things are going to happen. Take the pressure off of Tyler Hansen. Rodney Stewart is one of those running backs that's getting good production now for the Buffaloes.
On the other side, we saw A.J. Green. What a talent, probably one of the most interesting ones in the country. We finally got to see him play today.
Again, this was the first time he has played this season, so Georgia without him is not real good. Georgia with him is a pretty good offensive football team. Again, he left the ball game with cramps and did not return. You would wonder, for Georgia the rest of the way, how can this guy hold up physically? Because again, what kind of game shape is he in? Obviously, when he's out there, he is a marvelous talent and will play on Sundays and will be a first-round draft choice. But again, can he stay healthy?
7 catches, 119 yards. I think he's just not in game shape, Coach. I mean, that's what it comes down to. You saw him on the one reverse. He ran for 40 yards. That was his only carry of the day. But I'll tell you what. Colorado was thanking their lucky stars, and that kid went down with some cramps.
I'll give you one word for him: effortless. It was effortless for him today. He just shined.
From a national perspective, I know Georgia was 1-3 coming in. They've had a lot of suspensions, things to deal with early on in their schedule. But for Colorado to beat them on a national stage, what does this do for them?
I think it's a big win for Dan Hawkins and the program. I think the Buffaloes really need to find a way to get a good win for their program, and Dan really needed it. I mean, he's embattled out there in that program, and this could really propel them for a better season, perhaps a better ending to the Big 12 race, give them a chance to be, competitive in the North. You never know where they'll go from here.
Anytime you throw in an SEC team into your conference, into a strong conference like the Big 12, it's difficult. You're gonna face tough teams week in, week out in the Big 12, and when you bring in an SEC power and a team with some speed like Georgia has, that's a tremendous win for Dan Hawkins.
Probably, with the exception when they beat OU out there several years ago, was still probably the biggest win they've had. But when you beat an SEC team, even if they're down, it's a marquee win.
Colorado at Missouri next week before hosting those crazy and really good Baylor Bears. Let's take a break on Big 12 Live, presented by Woodman of the World. More Texas OU talk, plus Ed Stewart of Nebraska's All-Century team will join us on Big 12 Live.